Hi, everybody. I'm Eli Gold. It's time for another classic Crimson Tide National Championship football broadcast from the archives of Learfield IMG College. The date was January 8th, 2018. The site was the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Alabama and Georgia were battling for the national championship in this all-SEC college football playoff finale. The Tide qualified for the championship game with a 24-6 win over the Clemson Tigers. Georgia got there with a 54-48 win over the Oklahoma Sooners. Now, for Bama fans, most of the championship game really wasn't much to enjoy. But the ending, well, that was a different story altogether. A three-letter name became part of every Bama conversation: Tua. While a new term was injected into the lexicon of Bama fans everywhere: 2nd and 26. It's an overtime thriller for the national title from the Crimson Tide Sports Network.
Nicole Hardman is the deep man at the goal line. Elijah Holyfield, the son of the real deal, the boxing champion Evander Holyfield, he is standing at the 10. Bama getting ready to kick it away right to left, and the national championship game is underway as J.K. Scott booms this one. It goes down the left side. It is a touchback, and the football will be placed at the 25-yard line. That's the 44th touchback of the year for J.K. Scott on his 95th kickoff.
Well, Eli, let's look for Georgia to have some counters tonight to their tailback-oriented offense. Is it a reverse? Is it a halfback pass? Is it a hard play-action fake? Let's check out these Georgia Bulldogs as they open up from their own 20.
Here comes Georgia to the 25-yard line, the line of scrimmage, two wideouts left. One man to the near side. Chubb and Michelle both in the backfield. Now they'll send Chubb in motion. He'll catch a pass. Far side, he is hit immediately by Bama. He won't go down, but finally is snowed under, and it'll be a loss of a yard back to the 24. Deontay Thompson was the first guy to get there, and then Minka Fitzpatrick finished off the play.
Well, Eli, we talked about on Coach Saban's show the other night, the perimeter run defense, and that was a swing pass, essentially a lateral, and Deontay Thompson picks up right where he left off last Monday night in the Superdome.
Terry Godwin is in the slot right. Sony Michel lined up to the left of his quarterback. Here now is a 2nd down and 11 from their own 24-yard line. Quarterback slaps his hands, gets the snap, throws the out route near side. Catch made at the 30 by the aforementioned slot receiver Godwin. They'll say he steps out of bounds officially at the 28-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd down from there. He needs to get to the 36 or the 35. So it's looking at a 3rd down and 7 now for Georgia.
Well, 2 wins for Alabama on defense. Fromm loves to throw the ball to the perimeter. That's where his most confidence is, and that's where that ball went, to this near sideline.
Bama defense digs in. Fromm standing in the backfield, gets the shotgun snap with pressure off the edge. He'll unload that one far side. It holds up in the air. It's come back to and caught, but then dropped by Georgia and then intercepted. They'll say Bama's Tony Brown. Interception as he rips it out of the hands of the receiver across the way. The ball hung up. Everybody had to come back to it. And then as it floated even some more, it was grabbed instantly by Wims and then stolen away by Tony Brown.
Well, pressure by Deron Payne right in the face of Jake Fromm. He floats a ball down that far seam area, and Tony Brown keeps his composure. Ball juggled by Javon Wims. He comes down with it, and Alabama already +1 in the turnover margin. Maybe the best play Tony Brown has made in his entire career, the senior out of Beaumont, Texas.
He wrestled it out of Wims' hands. The 18th interception of the year for Bama. So $18,000 now in total. From Wells Fargo to the Children's Hospital of Alabama, they give another $1,000 there. Here's Damian Harris in a 1st and 10. Bama from their own 35. In motion from the far side to the near side. Comes in front, gets the handoff. Comes laterally, gets a stiff arm, throws a man away and gets out to the 40-yard line. He picks up 5 on the play. J.R. Reed and Aaron Davis combining on the stop.
Well, Eli, there's a misnomer out there. These two teams are just going to line up and run the ball between the tackles, and both of them are wise enough to know they've got to spread the field and try to challenge the perimeter, and that's what Alabama did with the jet sweep to Damian Harris.
Foster gets the little touch pass, tries to spread the field, turns the corner. First down the right sideline with extra speed, and he's out of bounds at the 47-yard line. A 17-yard pickup on the play, a 7-yard pickup on the play, and Alabama gets the first down.
Well, you'd think Lane Kiffin had taken back over the offense with 2 jet sweeps to open the game for Alabama. They're going to try to scatter these Georgia Bulldogs before they go north and south.
Damian Harris in the pistol formation. Ridley in motion for Bama. Here now the play-action fake. The throw to Ridley, caught down low. Beautiful catch. Dances up the right sideline. It'll be right at the yard line to gain. He'll be about a half-yard shy, but that was not the best thrown pass, and Ridley made a spectacular catch.
No, but he had to negotiate that football around the Georgia defender that was coming off the corner, so an excellent catch by Calvin Ridley, and Alabama in perfect position here. 2nd and 1. Do they take a shot?
Davin Bellamy was the man they had to deal around. Now, on the 2nd down and 1. Here's the snap, kept by the quarterback. He'll run for the first down. Jalen's down to the 30-yard line of the Georgia Bulldogs. Nothing fancy, called his own number all the way.
Well, design quarterback run with lead blockers, an easy first down. Alabama gets bodies on bodies, and Jalen Hurts gets to the 2nd level of the defense.
Now from the 31-yard line, 1st and 10. Heading towards the end zone to our left, that is painted with Alabama across the middle of it. Pistol formation, fake again to Harris. Rolling right with everybody covered, Jalen Hurts. He'll just throw that one away, out of bounds down near the 5-yard line. He had pressure from Tyler Clark. Remember, that team had 5 sacks against Oklahoma, so they can pressure you, but he just threw that one away after rolling right.
Yeah, a little play-action pass there from the pistol set for Jalen Hurts, and coverage by Georgia, nowhere to go with the football on that occasion. Wisely throws it away.
Bama already picking up a number of first downs in this drive. High snap, pulled down by Jalen, gives to Damian Harris. He gets taken down at the 30 after a pickup of a couple of yards. Dominic Sanders came in. That was a high snap. Jalen had to do a great job to pull that one down in the first place.
Yeah, counter play with Irv Smith Jr. as the lead blocker up into the hole. But Dominic Sanders, he's an undersized safety. He always tackles low, especially when he's moving close to the line of scrimmage.
Now a 3rd and 8, Alabama from the Georgia 30, heading to our left with Smith in the slot left. Damian Harris to the right of his quarterback. 2 wideouts left and 1 to our right. Here's Jalen Hurts coming back up to his center, Bradley Bozeman. Play clock at 5, 4, 3. Gets the snap waist high, stands in, steps up, he avoids a man, cuts left on another. He's got a first down all the way to the 20-yard line, and that's that intangible we've talked about all season long regarding Jalen Hurts making chicken salad out of potentially chicken droppings.
Well, the defensive coordinators across the SEC will tell you that he's the most difficult player to defend because of that ability on 3rd down to break the pocket and then run for the sticks. He picks up the first down. Now Alabama in the red zone.
From the 19 of Georgia, Damian Harris to the left of his quarterback. Josh Jacobs to his right, high snap again, handoff Jacobs, near side, stiff arms a man, goes laterally and gets an extra yard down to the 18. That was Roquan Smith, the linebacker we talked so much about, the winner of the Butkus Award, who stayed with the play.
Well, you're not going to run away from Roquan Smith, and Bama didn't get him blocked up, and he had a free path to Josh Jacobs, the running back out of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Snaps have been a little erratic here of late. Josh Jacobs now the single setback. He's to the right of the quarterback. You've got Ridley wide right. Foster and Sims to the left side.
Singled up on the outside, Ridley is.
Here's Sims, goes in motion that way. Fade route, end zone, defensive back goes down, but the pass is over the head of Ridley, incomplete in the far corner. If it had been there, it would have been a touchdown because Malcolm Parrish lost his footing and went down at around the 5-yard line.
Bama had exactly what they wanted. To the wide side of the field, Malcolm Parrish one-on-one with Calvin Ridley. It's a mismatch. Parrish falls down, but Jalen had already let the football go too early. Just a half a count later, he could have just floated it to Calvin Ridley for the 6-pointer.
Now it's a 3rd down and 8. Alabama from the 18-yard line of Georgia, heading to our left. Here's the snap to Hurts. Jalen goes right. Jalen's under pressure. Jalen tries to escape, and he'll throw that one away, and he'll bring up a 4th down and 8 from the 17. Lorenzo Carter was the man chasing him, and here comes Andy Papanastis to attempt the field goal.
We talked in the pregame, you must make your kicks, particularly when you get down in this part of the field. Alabama got all the way inside the true red zone, inside the 20. This is lining up as a 35-yard kick. Very makeable for Andy Papanastis.
He is 5 of 6 from this distance this year, 0 of 1, however, last week against Clemson. The snapper is Scott Meyer. The holder, J.K. Scott. Snap, spot, kick on the way. It is up, and it is
flagged.
A flag at the line of scrimmage.
Full start. Offense, number 82. The penalty, it remains 4th down.
Irv Smith getting the penalty. So it becomes a 40-yard field goal attempt now.
Yeah, and Andy had plenty of leg on that. He's just got to punch it through for a 2nd consecutive time.
He is 4 of 8 from this distance this year. Again, Scott Meyer will snap it. J.K. Scott holds it. A 40-yard try off the near hash mark. Kicking it right to left as you listen. The snap is good. The spot is there. The kick on the way. It is up, and it is no good. It is wide left.
Yes, first kick curled in from right to left. That time it started left and stayed left. It goes wide left, and Alabama misses an opportunity there.
Scoreless here in Atlanta. 9:54 remaining in the opening quarter. There is no score. Nick Chubb, the running back. He's lined up behind his quarterback, Jake Fromm. 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right. Chubb is in the slot left. Snapping his hands, getting the ball, the throw across the middle, caught, taken down out to the 35 by Godwin, and he got the first down on that first play from scrimmage. It'll be a 13-yard pickup out to the 36 officially.
Yep, that was that RPO, a quick fake to Nick Chubb, and then the inside slant to Terry Godwin. He made a sticky-handed grab there in the middle of the Alabama defense.
DeAndre Swift now in at running back. He's lined up to the left of his quarterback. He'll put a man in motion now to the far side. Isaac Nauta, the tight end. He's to the left of the formation. Quarterback stands in, throws. Ball is caught and dropped at the 43-yard line. It was in the hands of Javon Wims, the man who had the pass ripped out of his hands earlier for the interception by Tony Brown. This one he had cleanly and dropped it. Yeah. It'll be a 2nd and 10 coming up.
Just an old-fashioned hook route by Javon Wims, and Fromm put it right on the numeral 6, and he dropped it.
So now with 2 wideouts to the left, 2 men to the right. Sony Michel is the running back, lined up to the right of his quarterback. Fromm now will hand signal his teammates. Isaiah Wynn, the left tackle, stands up, calls offensive line signals. There's pressure and there's motion. Somebody moved as they drop the flag. It'll be against Georgia. Looked like the left side of the offensive line jumped.
False start. Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Indeed, Isaiah Wynn, the all-conference and 2nd-team All-America player, jumping the snap.
And he's a left tackle, but Eli's only 6'2", so he doesn't have the classic length of a left tackle. He's more of a guard for the next level. He's an invite down at the Reese's Senior Bowl for us, but that time a little anxious on that pass set to the edge.
Now the 2nd and 15, Georgia from their own 31. They'll bring a man to the right side of the formation. Pressure, here comes the throw. Nobody home, over the head of Sony Michel in the right flat. Deron Payne come calling on Jake Fromm, and Fromm just had no choice but to throw that football away.
Well, Jake from State Farm is going to have to buy some insurance if Deron Payne keeps puncturing the pocket against these Georgia Bulldogs.
Georgia, nothing of one in third down conversions. Coming in this year, they were 46% in third down conversions, 9th best in America. Empty backfield. 2 wides to the right, 3 are in the left of the formation. Mac Jones moves, Minka moves, Levi Wallace cheats to his right. Here now Fromm steps back, looks left, throws that one. It's high, tipped away by Alabama. Incomplete at the 40. Great job by the Crimson Tide as Deontay Thompson, who was being forced into heavy duty last week and this week, came up huge and tipped that one away.
Well, Deontay Thompson's got outstanding range from the middle of the field. I mean, that was a classic center field type play for a free safety. He goes over, swats the ball down, and Alabama's going to get the football back here off the toe of Cameron Nizelek.
Nizelek, the opponents have only 12 punt returns against him this year. Trayvon Diggs is deep. Nizelek puts on a show as though he were hit and put down. The official doesn't buy it, and Trayvon makes the grab at the 20-yard line, and that's where Alabama will be starting. 1st and 10, a 49-yard punt and no return. Bo Scarborough now in it running back for Alabama. He's lined up in the pistol formation with 2 wideouts to the left, Devontae Smith and Ridley, who goes in motion to the right. Here's the handoff to Bo, goes over the right side, carries men with him, picks up 3 yards on the play behind Ross Piercebaker's lead blocking. It'll be a 2nd down and 7 upcoming for the Crimson Tide.
Well, that's a buckle your chin strap. We're coming right downhill with the Tuscaloosa junior, Bo Scarborough.
Jerry Jeudy now checks in for Alabama. He'll go wide right along with Devontae Smith and Calvin Ridley. Wide left is going to be Scarborough, so it's an empty backfield now. Jalen Hurts waits. Scarborough in motion, goes behind his quarterback, gets the lead pass into the far flat, catch is made. He'll cut back, break a couple of tackles, and get forward out to the 27-yard line. It'll be a 3rd and 3 coming up. Little pushing and shoving there, but everything parts peaceably enough. J.R. Reed, the right side safety there to make the stop.
I think Bama likes their matchup on the edges with their wide receivers blocking these defensive backs out in open space and then having to get free to tackle Bo Scarborough. That's a positive gain. Now Bama at 3rd and 3.
3rd and 3 from the 27-yard line. Bama in their own territory. Wideouts, 3 to the left and 1 to the right. Man in motion again. Here comes the snap. It goes to the quarterback, and Jalen will get thrown down instantly by Jonathan Ledbetter, the defensive end, and that play loses back to the 25-yard line, and the Tide is going to have to punt this one away. First time we'll see J.K. Scott here today, averaging 42.4 yards per punt on the year. Mecole Hardman, who leads the SEC in kickoff return and punt return average. He is back for Georgia.
Backside penetration allowed there. Jonathan Ledbetter, the man that makes the play on Jalen Hurts from behind.
Now the snap coming to J.K. Scott. He'll boom it away. Mecole Hardman watches it bounce. It rolls for Alabama down to the 20-yard line, and it is dead at the 20, and that's where Georgia will start. 1st and 10 after a 53-yard punt and no return. Timeouts. 6:54 remaining in the opening quarter. No score here in Atlanta. You're listening to the national championship game of college football. The quarterback is under his center. The center is Lamont Gilliard. Everybody shifts to the left side, 1 man wide right. Here's the give, they go that way, runs into the Alabama defense. A pickup of 4 for Nick Chubb there. First rushing yards of the day for Georgia. Mack Wilson led the Alabama attack defensively.
And DeAndre Swift, the other talented tailback, a freshman, was on the field. He was aligned almost like a tight end.
Yep.
So keep an eye on him as we get into this football game. There could be something up the dog's sleeve in terms of that alignment.
Fromm now audibles, come back under his center. An unbalanced line for the Bulldogs. Single setback, pitching it out to Chubb. He has a hole far side, but it closes in a hurry as Alabama's Rashaan Evans and Terrell Lewis got there together, and that yawning, gaping hole disappeared in a hurry as they get him put back inside the 26-yard line.
Well, the pursuit of the Alabama defense, you can see the white jerseys as they sprinted to Nick Chubb, led by Terrell Lewis. Outstanding play there by number 24.
So it'll be a 3rd and 5 now. Georgia nothing of 2 in third down conversions. 3rd and 5 from their own 26. Fromm is in the shotgun. 3 wides right, everybody else in tight left. One running back, handoff, big hole. Mack Wilson makes the stop, but not in time. It'll be a first down out to the 33. Sony Michel just accelerated right there and picked up the necessary yardage.
Yeah, that's what they call a sub-run, a 3rd down run. They had 3 wideouts in the game, stretched to this wide side of the field, and then they just went straight at a 6-man box. For Alabama, they pick up the first.
From their own 33 now, Georgia 1st and 10. 5:10 remaining. First quarter, there is no score. Bama had a chance, but they missed the field goal. Here now, Trum, the gift to Sony Michel. He'll wind to the near side and get running room out to the 37. A 4-yard pickup before Minkah Fitzpatrick comes up and stops him. It'll be a 2nd down and 6.
Well, as a comparison, those last 2 runs were touchdowns a weekend ago against Oklahoma, but not against this Alabama defense. The gaps close very fast, but Georgia cycling through a number of personnel groupings in the early going here in the first quarter.
Here now working on a 2nd down and 4. Fromm claps his hands, gets the snap, puts the football into the gut of the running back. No chance for Nick Chubb to go anywhere as Alabama stuffs him in a hurry. At the 40, it'll be a 2nd down, make it a 3rd down upcoming for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, Georgia just picked up their first 3rd down conversion a moment ago. They're now 1 of 3 in that crucial category for this game.
Phil, we're joined here in the booth, and we'll hear extensively from Governor Kay Ivey of the state of Alabama. Madam Governor, great to see you.
Thank you. Roll Tide.
There you go, Roll Tide. Let's watch this 3rd down and 3 play right here as Fromm waits for the snap. He's in the shotgun. 3 wideouts to the left, and now a flag being dropped by the official.
Yeah, it's false start out there on one of the wide receivers. They flinched.
And I appreciate the Roll Tide coming from a young lady.
The defensive player jumped into the neutral zone, causing the offensive player to react. By rule, that's defense offside, a 5-yard penalty, and it results in a first down.
That's a first down. I appreciate a young lady who's an Auburn graduate who has a dog named Bear to come in and say Roll Tide. Thank you, ma'am.
Well, I'm proud of Team Alabama here. They're doing good. They know how to win.
You know, folks probably realize, I know you do, that even with all the great businesses in the state of Alabama, more folks probably see the state as a whole through the window of college football than through any other means.
Well, this game and this team is a great asset to the great state of Alabama. We're proud to be here tonight.
And we're happy to have you. The governor looks on as a handoff is run down quickly by Deron Payne as he got a bit of Sony Michel and puts him away. You yourself, I'm curious, you yourself are a leader of a team, obviously different than this, but still a team. Do you ever pilfer an idea from whether it's Nick Saban or other coaches in the state on how to unify a bunch of people and have them pull in the same direction?
I think all successful coaches do 4 things. They listen, learn, help, and lead. And I try to do that too.
And of course, the voice of Governor Kay Ivey of the state of Alabama joining us here in the booth. A 2nd down and 10 upcoming for the Georgia Bulldogs now. Out of the shotgun, here's Fromm. Looks right, throws right, man wide open. Catch is made across midfield. Riley Ridley, that's the brother of Alabama's Calvin Ridley, who comes down with the football and picks up the first down. This is quite a night, isn't it? This is a magnificent atmosphere.
It is dynamic. Because the stadium is just awesome and the crowd is huge.
How many games do you get to, and does your schedule allow you to pick up on a Saturday, and whether it's your alma mater at Auburn, whether it's Tuscaloosa, Jacksonville State, wherever UAB, do you get a chance to go to a number of games?
I've been to about 4 or 5 games this year.
Have you?
Different institutions.
Super. Well, I didn't know if you had a chance to really get away and spend much time.
Well, Eli, that brings up a second down, and Governor Ivy, I want you to come down to another game. How about the Reese's Senior Bowl down in Mobile? Come see us at the end of the month.
That'll be a good game, too.
It really will be. Here now is Chubb, the running back. Quarterback is under center. Pressure off the left side. Down he goes! Alabama brought the house, and that time it was Anthony Everett picking up his first sack of the year and the first sack of the ball game. Well, that's the kind of stuff, Governor, you don't want to see. You don't like to get blindsided in your business,
No.
do you? Not at all. Where do they have you watching the ball game tonight, other than the visit here? Where do they have you? You have good seats? I bet you know somebody.
President Bell was kind enough to invite us to his suite.
Wonderful. Dr. Bell, of course, he and his wife Susan, the president of the University of Alabama. Here's a 3rd down and 20 with 1:45 remaining in the opening quarter. Alabama and Georgia no score. Chubb claps his hands 3 times, gets the snap, hands it off, nothing up the middle. Michelle kicks it to the near side. He'll tightrope down the right sidelines and finally steps out of bounds at the 26-yard line of the Crimson Tide.
Well, another sub run, Eli. That was a conservative call by Georgia. They were just going to take a nibble at it and punt Alabama into bad field position, but Sony Michel got the edge. Levi Wallace lost contain. Michel tightrope down this sideline. The Dogs pick up a 3rd and 20 on a run.
Here now, Bama substitutes, and a timeout is being taken along the near sideline.
The ruling on the field is that the runner stepped out of bounds at the 26-yard line. That ruling is under further review.
So the officials out of the Big Ten Conference, Dan Capron, will take a look. So 1:09 remaining in the opening quarter now. Here's play action as Chubb gets the fake. Here comes Fromm. He's taken down from behind by Alabama and pulled down neatly by Christian Miller on that defensive stop. So the Crimson Tide, Miller helping the play lose a couple yards on the play. It'll be a 2nd down and a dozen upcoming.
Yeah, after that sub run that picked up the 1st down, Georgia wanted to take a shot at the end zone. The protection broke down, and Christian Miller wraps up Jake Fromm for a loss.
Here now is a 2nd down and 12. Football at the 27-yard line. 3 wide outs to the left side. Quarterback Fromm gets it, hands it off in the middle, but DeAndre Swift is quickly tripped up. Gets maybe a yard. It'll be a 3rd down and 10 upcoming now. A minute gone, 16 seconds now remaining in the quarter. And it looks as though the Bulldogs are just going to let the clock wind down. 1 quarter complete. It is scoreless here at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta as Alabama and Georgia play for the College Football National Championship. 2nd quarter begins now. Georgia heading towards the end zone to our left. Here's a 3rd and 11 from the Alabama 27-yard line. Quarterback gets it, hands off up the middle. Bama defense swarms in quickly on Sony Michel and pulls him down at the 25-yard line. A gain of a couple. Terrell Lewis makes the stop. And Alabama, who missed a field goal in the earlier portion of the opening quarter, now looking to see if Georgia maybe will miss one of theirs. Yeah, it'll be a 41-yard try for Rodrigo Blankenship.
Conservative call by Georgia, playing for a field goal here, and Rodriguez, of course, 13 for 13 inside the 39-yard range.
Hit a 55-yarder against Oklahoma last week. Snap, spot. Blankenship kicks it. It is up. It is high. It is good. And the Georgia Bulldogs take a 3-0 lead over the Alabama Crimson Tide. A 41-yard field goal. Rodrigo Blankenship deep to our left. Trayvon Diggs across the way and Josh Jacobs to the near side. Rodrigo Blankenship, who has 64 touchbacks on the year, booms this one away. Deep in the end zone. Jacobs 7 yards deep, takes a knee, and Alabama on the touchback will start 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line.
Yeah, Blankenship hits 72% of his kickoffs are touchbacks, so Alabama will put it in motion here at their own 20. They've had a lot of time to talk through the offensive strategy after that 14-play drive for Georgia.
We're 46 seconds into the 2nd quarter. 3-0 Georgia. Bama sends 3 wide receivers, Foster, Sims, and Ridley to the left. Jalen Hurts, the quarterback in the shotgun with the running back, Damian Harris, now shifting from the left of the quarterback to the right of the quarterback. Here's the snap, handoff Damian, he'll go left and gets gobbled up by Tyler Clark and Julian Rochester. Play will pick up 1.5 yards, but really very little running room right there.
Yes, somewhat of a zone read type of scheme for Alabama.
And an injured player now for the Georgia Bulldogs. Can't quite see exactly who it was, but as Bama charged to the left side, bodies got intertwined, and the officials are going to take a timeout here. It'll be just getting going in the second quarter. We are 1 minute and 4 seconds into this period. Again, having been stopped by an injury to David Marshall of Georgia, who did get up and walk, albeit haltingly, to the far sideline. Here we go now as Alabama looks at a 2nd down and 7 from their own 28-yard line. The Tide has Damian Harris lined up in the slot left. He'll go in motion. Quarterback keeps it, nothing up the middle, nothing to the right, nothing to the left. Down he goes. He ran into the arms of DeAndre Walker, the strong side linebacker, and everything broke down there, including the protection for Jalen Hurts.
Well, that was a design quarterback run again, all the way. And Jalen missed a cut. He tried to take it outside. He missed a cut inside the box.
Bama 1 of 3 in 3rd down conversions. Here's a 3rd and 6 on their own 29. Hurts, look out from behind. Hit as he throws. Foster makes, they're going to say it hit the ground. Ridley came up with it on a short hop, and the official right there says no, it hit the ground as Jalen unloaded it just as he got hit. And it is indeed a short hop pickup. A Derek Jeter kind of play right there.
And Nick Saban pleading for a holding call over there with Malcolm Parrish, who was matched up one-on-one with Calvin Ridley.
Now the man who leads the SEC in punt return average, Mecole Hardman. He's deep. J.K. Scott had a 53-yard punt earlier with no return. He'll boom this one again. A beautiful spiral. Hardman waits, backpedals, makes the grab 20, near side 25. He's to the 30. Flag on the play, another flag on the play. And a stoppage. Cam Sims, I know, was taken down by Georgia's Daniel Harper.
Yeah, that's going to push Georgia back most likely here on that return by Mecole Hardman.
A 55-yard punt, but we'll see where it all ends up as referee Dan Capron from the Big Ten talks it over with his head linesmen and other judges and referees. Let's listen in.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 47 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
That's the one we told you about, taking Cam Sims
Media
off the
timeout.
play. And we've got a timeout now. That is the 2nd penalty for a loss of 15 for the Georgia Bulldogs. Time.
Well, no question. It's been difficult to find any sort of rhythm because, again, of these timeouts for the media,
then the
which
injury,
means commercials, and then injuries as well.
Here we go as Fromm gets the snap, throws it in the right flat to DeAndre Swift. He'll make the grab. He is pulled down at the 35-yard line. 1st down for the Georgia Bulldogs. Nothing fancy. Rashaan Evans finally got him.
Well, it was a hard play-action fake, and then Swift leaked out to the flat. And, you know, he's got 15 catches on the year, whereas Chubb and Michelle have less than 10 apiece. So he is the featured receiver when he's on the field as the tailback.
Now Nick Chubb is lined up in the tailback spot. 2 wideouts stacked one beneath the other. It'll be a wildcat here as the quarterback goes wide far side. The snap directly to Chubb, looks up the middle, gets a hole, and rushes out to the 40-yard line. He'll pick up 5 yards on that wildcat play before Rashaan Evans and a host of DBs slow him down.
Eli just noticed the number of reserve players, the substitute pattern. Every play, Georgia's changing personnel groupings. They're really making this a mental challenge for the Alabama defense with all of the personnel groupings in the formation.
2 wides to the left, 1 to the right. Man in motion. Godwin goes to the right side. Here now is the fake give to Michel. Quarterback keeper cuts around, one missed tackle, and he's got a first down out to the 45-yard line. He cut around Rashaan Evans the first time and finally gets pulled down. But nice move by the young running quarterback, who has carried for 94 yards on the year. That just puts him over 100.
Well, he rarely keeps it on his own read, and that's exactly what he did that time. And then he made Mack Wilson, who overran the play, miss, and he picks up the first down.
Until Rashaan Evans tackles him. 11:22 remaining in the half. 3-0 Georgia. Quickly to the line of scrimmage. Fromm throws it far side off the hands of Christian Payne, the fullback, who had swung out into the right flat. Pass had a little too much mustard and wasn't right on the money. And Payne, who was looking for his first reception of the year, could not hang on.
That was a freshman miss all the way. Just a basic flat route to Payne. He misses him on his back hip. But if you notice, Eli, all the passes are primarily to the edges.
Yes.
Very few throws between the hash marks.
That's been the story all year. Here's a 2nd and 10, Georgia. Ball on their own 45-yard line. Sony Michel is the running back. 3 wideouts left, nobody wide to the right. Here now the give to Michel, goes right, has to go behind Ben Cleveland, his own right guard, and that allows him to get stacked up by Raekwon Davis. He was so quick, he ran up on his own right guard, and that brings up Georgia in a 3rd and 8. They are 2 of 5 in 3rd down conversions tonight.
And Eli, Georgia's doing a lot of formation alignments where they're sending 3 receivers to the wide side, tight end into the boundary. They call that tray formation. That's something obviously they think that bothers Alabama, because you have to decide, are you going to send your corners over there or leave them on the backside to support the run against the tight end?
Tony Brown comes running up from a secondary spot. He'll join the men on the defensive front. Here's Fromm stepping back, looks, throws it across the middle, caught wide open. Ridley has it to the near side and out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That is Riley Ridley, the brother of Alabama's Calvin Ridley, thrown to him beautifully, and he picks up the first down to the Bama 30.
Yeah, with protection, Fromm's able to scan the field and then hit Ridley coming across on a deep over route. He was behind the linebackers in front of the secondary. Well executed there by Fromm.
A 23-yard pickup on the play. 1st and 10, Georgia from the Alabama 30. DeAndre Swift, the running back. They fake it to 2 men and now throw it near side. It is caught out of the backfield by Hartman. And Mecole Hardman dances his way down the near side, but there'll be no gain as he got back to the original line of scrimmage, but no farther. It'll be a 2nd down and 10.
And again, Hardman came all the way back on what they call an orbit motion. They play fake hard into the line of scrimmage and then try to hit him on a little swing, loopy pass to this near sideline. But Alabama, the speed of their pursuit, kept it to a no gain.
They've got wideouts, 2 to the right side, 2 to the left. DeAndre Swift is the running back. The tight end, that's Harris, goes in motion a few steps back towards the formation. Fromm changes the call. Audibles, play clock winding down. Inside handoff, a quick give. And DeAndre Swift finds some running room to the 26-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd down from there. 3rd down and 6 after a pickup of 4.
Well, this is a huge play here because Georgia's in that high red zone area at the 26. You're looking at a 43, 44-yard field goal from here if Bama can get a stop. Really an important down, maybe the most important one so far tonight.
Sony Michel is the running back to the left of his quarterback. 2 wides either way. Fromm gets the snap, steps straight back, has time, looks left, throws, caught, 5-yard line, make it the 10-yard line. Javon Wims with the football. And now are they going to say it was out of bounds? Let's see.
Well,
they're going to give it to him. For a moment, it looked as though the officials were looking at it, but he did come down in bounds, a pickup of 16 yards and a first down.
The back shoulder fade, hard to defend, and Wims is 6'4". I mean, we mentioned in the pregame, he's a power forward. He goes up and elevates over Anthony Averett.
Here now from the quarterback, under his center, Gilliard. And now they're going to review this one. They are going to look.
The ruling on the field is that the pass was complete. That ruling is under further review.
They are going to look at it and see whether his foot came down. One of the officials kind of hesitated. Let's take a look here. We're watching a replay. Well, his hand came down, but his foot was already out of bounds. Here now Fromm. He has Chubb behind him. Here's a handoff to Chubb. He'll go up the middle. Nothing there. He is put down by Daron Payne. It'll be a 2nd and goal from the 10. No gain as Daron Payne.
Well, to me, against the Alabama defense, you're looking at 10 full yards to get a touchdown. You have to throw the football into the end zone. Anything outside of the end zone, Alabama's going to converge and get you down typically. So a good run defensive stop for the Tide. Now looking at 2nd and goal from the 10 for the Dogs.
Godwin and Wims are wide right. Sony Michel is the running back to the right rear of his quarterback. On a 2nd and goal. Here now the fake give, the slash inside, and it's incomplete. Levi Wallace was there covering Wims on a slant inside. The pass was behind him. Incomplete. It'll be a 3rd down and 10. Georgia 4 of 7 in 3rd down conversions tonight.
Yep, that was an RPO again. Fake to the left, throw the slant to the right. Look for Georgia here. Again, something in the end zone, maybe over the top of this Alabama defense. A one-on-one matchup outside.
Empty backfield. Now they'll shift. Sony Michel comes into the formation, lines up to the left of his quarterback. 3 wides right. Fromm looks left. Fromm is flushed. Fromm throws. Nearly intercepted by Alabama across the middle. Sony Michel was the intended receiver at the 5, but Bama brought the house defensively. And this, whether they get the field goal or not, would have to be considered a big stop for Alabama.
Well, after you give up the play to Wims at the 10, Bama forces 3 no yardage gains, 2 incomplete passes, and now Rodrigo's Blankenship will come in and try to put Georgia on top 6-0, but a huge win for the Alabama defense.
A 27-yard field goal try. Blankenship hit one earlier. Waiting, snap in the spot. The kick is up, and the kick is good. So Rodrigo Blankenship, a 27-yard field goal. And the Georgia Bulldogs have gone on top by a score of 6-0. But Phil, as we say, that was a win right there for the Alabama Crimson Tide. The Brombergs, forever Mark Diamond scoring drive, 13 plays, 70 yards in 5 minutes and 19 seconds.
Well, again, Eli, the offense for Alabama's had a long time to discuss and lay out their plans for this upcoming drive. The Bama defense has given up 27 plays in the last 2 drives. So this Alabama offense needs a spark. They've had a lot of time to talk about it. Maybe it can come on a kickoff return, but remember, Blankenship hits nearly 75%, 72 to be exact, into the end zone.
Let's check in with Chris Stewart downstairs.
Eli, this is a sideline that got a little extra juice from that stop by the defense. You're at a time now where it was, I won't say flat, but it was quiet, it was calm, but now, hopefully, things are about ready to flip for Alabama.
Our Cook's Pest Control sideline reporter, Chris Stewart, as Blankenship booms this one 9 yards deep. Second touchback, Josh Jacobs makes the grab and will not be bringing it out. So Alabama will start again, 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. And again, folks, the second quarter of tonight's game is being brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Alabama, a proud sponsor of the Crimson Tide. Blue Cross provides peace of mind to their members by delivering access to quality health care in a caring manner. Learn more at alabamablue.com. Blue Cross, Blue Shield of Alabama, we cover what matters. 1st and 10, Bama from their own 25. Quarterback keeps it, finds a hole. He'll run for the 30 to the 35-40. He'll cut left to the 50. He'll cut to the far sideline and go out of bounds at the Georgia 45. Big scamper right there for Jalen Hurts. It'll be 31 yards.
And after the explosive play, look for Alabama to play some tempo here. I saw Nick Saban right in the ear of coordinator Brian Dable at the end of the last drive, and you could see him saying, we need to play faster.
Here now into the shotgun formation, or at least the pistol. The handoff to Josh Jacobs. He'll go left. Will pick up a yard before Davin Bellamy, the Jack linebacker, stays with him and puts him down. It'll be a 2nd down and 9 for Alabama. 7 minutes to go until halftime.
Well, both teams trying to use formations to advantage. They got out. Alabama got Georgia separated. Hurts ran through the middle on that first play.
Faking the throw right. Jalen, look out behind, and he's going down. First sack of the ball game. Davin Bellamy came from the blind side and puts him down back at the 50. The play will lose 7.
Eli, it's a familiar formula. You cannot hold the football against the Georgia defense, just like the Alabama defense. If you hold it, you're dead in the water. Jalen didn't let the football go, and he gets blindsided by Davin Bellamy.
Bama 1 of 4 in 3rd down conversions. Here's a 3rd and 15 now from midfield. 6:14 to go, first half. 6-0 Georgia. Jalen Hurts claps his hands it to Josh Jacobs. He'll get to the 45, maybe the 44. Now pushing and shoving ensues. The officials jump in between Devontae Smith and Dominic Sanders. But Alabama goes nowhere, and the Tide will have to punt it away. If nothing else, though, it should pin Georgia deep in their own territory.
Yeah, Bama sitting at the 44-yard line looking at 4th and 10. We're going to try to play field position here. The last 5 minutes of the second quarter, first 5 minutes of the third quarter. We know this is probably the pivotal part of this football game. Let's see if J.K. Scott can pin Georgia inside the 10.
Meanwhile, Wims has just gone to the Georgia locker room, their wide receiver. J.K., end under end. Does he kick this one the correct way? He does, out of bounds, 3-yard line. Dead, solid, perfect right there for J.K. Scott. 39 yards, left him a couple of yards to spare. And Phil, as I mentioned, Javon Wims, the talented wide receiver for Georgia, just walked off the field into the Bulldog locker room.
Yeah, and he's a big receiver on the outside. He's a mismatch player, not necessarily the fastest receiver, but as we saw, he made a play over Anthony Averett earlier. It set up that second field goal by Georgia. Now Alabama going to try to really keep Georgia pinned back. They're starting at their own 5-yard line.
Directly in front of us, heading right to left as you listen. Nick Chubb is the tailback. He's aligned in the end zone. Gets the handoff, and Deron Payne gets him after a gain of a yard. 1 yard for Nick Chubb. As the House of Payne wraps him up and puts him down, it'll be a 2nd down and 9.
Of course, both teams have all of their timeouts. No reason, obviously, to use them at this particular point. But Alabama trying to get this football back somewhere around midfield if they can force a 3-and-out. This is a rehearsed sequence of plays for Georgia, just like Alabama does it in a typical Thursday practice.
Here now, quarterback Fromm comes up to the line of scrimmage, then backs off. Chubb is the running back, standing on the goal line. He'll hand it to Chubb. He'll try the right side. Nothing there. He'll get a couple of yards, but Raekwon Davis, who, of course, at 6'7", 306, looks like he's growing there, made the stop, and it'll be a 3rd down and 7 facing Georgia now, deep in their own territory. They are 50%, 4 of 8 in 3rd down plays tonight.
And Eli, we've talked all week about the quarterback that not necessarily would make the big plays, but could avoid the critical mistake. Here's Georgia backed up, 3rd and 7 inside their own 10. Let's see if Bama can force a turnover.
Fromm has Sony Michel lined up to his left. 2 wides left, 1 to the right. Fromm backpedals into the end zone, stands there, throws across the middle, catch is made. It'll be a 1st down to Riley Ridley out the 24-yard line. Georgia going to Calvin's brother again, a 17-yard gainer. Riley Ridley, folks, on the year had 8 catches. Tonight he's got 3 big ones.
Well, that was a critical completion. And unfortunately, Alabama couldn't get it stopped. Levi Wallace gave up inside position to Ridley. He goes across on a deep dig route, and Fromm stares into the teeth of a Bama pass rush. The Tide not able to get to him, and he throws a strike to Ridley. 3
receptions for 52 yards. He caught for 136 on the year. Here's Payne and Michelle in the backfield as a quick throw in the right flat. Again, overthrowing the fullback, Payne. Second time that has happened here tonight in the right flat. And a 2nd and 10 from the 24 now upcoming for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Alabama penetrated the backfield there right at the feet of Fromm, and that affected the accuracy of that throw to the edge.
3:13 remaining, clock on the move. 6-0 Georgia. Here's a 2nd down and 10. Sony Michel, the runner. Tight end in motion. Pitch to Michel near side. Runs up on his own man, and Anthony Averett comes up to make the tackle at the 28-yard line. He ran up on Isaiah Wynn, and that slowed him down, and it brings up now a 3rd down and 6. Georgia 5 of 9 in 3rd down conversions here tonight.
And that is a number that Nick Saban's not going to be pleased with at all. Georgia moved the sticks a moment ago. They take some of this clock with them, and now the Tide looking at another 3rd down situation, trying to get off the field here in the first half.
The tight end, Isaac Nauta, checks in. He's in motion, left of the formation. Sony Michel is the running back. On a 3rd down and 6. Fromm backpedals inside the 20, throws down low, incomplete. He misfired looking for Mecole Hardman at the 40-yard line, and now Georgia will have to punt it away, and this will give Bama a bit of an edge, having gotten the field flipped. Compliments of the punt by J.K. Scott. The first punt of the day by Nizilik went 49 yards. Trayvon Diggs is the deep man for Alabama, standing at his own 31.
Yeah, to an extent, Bama can flip the field here, but remember, Georgia 5th in the country in net punting, so Nizilik has done a nice job for them all season long, the transfer graduate from Columbia.
Nizilik boots it away. It is caught. Trayvon backpedals. Goes to a block in the back. 35-40. It's all nice, but it's coming back. When he reversed direction, that's what happens. When you reverse direction, what was a legal block becomes a block in the back. A 49-yard punt. But again, it was looking good. Then when he changed direction, all of a sudden it puts everybody else in peril.
There was a flag and a hat.
Yeah.
So there were multiple
fouls here
on this return. But this is going to take away some of the field position that Bama would have enjoyed there. They were outside the 35-yard line on their end of the field.
The back judge made both calls.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Illegal block in the back on the receiving team, number 81. That penalty is declined. Holding. Number 81 on the receiving team. That penalty is accepted and is enforced 10 yards, first down.
So Derek Keith with the double header there. Block in the back and the hold. 3 penalties against Bama now for a loss of 20 yards. And that'll put the football at the 25-yard line, I believe.
Well, Eli, we talked about this juncture of the game. 2:14 left in the first half. Bama's got all 3 timeouts remaining. We've talked about Jake Fromm avoiding the critical error. That's what Jalen Hurts has to do here with the Tide hanging in there at 6-0. Love to see something positive happen here at the end of the first half.
It'll be a 1st and 10 Bama from their own 25. Damian Harris, the running back, to the right rear of his quarterback. The throw into the right flat, a screen set up to Damian Harris, and he'll get 4 yards up the near side out to the 29-yard line. It'll be a 2nd down and 6 from there.
Well, it's a safe, easy throw for Jalen, but as we've seen, to really move the football against the Georgia Dogs, you're going to have to throw the football up the field. Let's see what happens here as this clock hits the 2-minute mark, and it's on the march.
2nd down and 6. Hurts gets the snap. Gives to Damian, who gets tripped up by teammates and others. He'll get across the 30 to the 31. It'll bring up a 3rd down and 5. Alabama has been held scoreless in the first half of a football game only twice since 2007. Here now the play. Jalen rolls right. Jalen looks and throws. It is onto the Alabama sideline, incomplete. And it brings up a 4th down and 4. Jalen has done a lot of running for his life here tonight.
Well, the initial read is taken away, and Georgia uses what you call a muddle rush. They're not getting way upfield and creating those vertical lanes for Jalen to escape and go run for a first down. They stayed right in his grill. They're going to force him to beat that defense from the pocket. He couldn't do it that time. Bama had no separation downfield, and he throws it out of bounds.
J.K. Scott, 3 punts, averaging 49.3. Will boom it away to Mecole Hardman. Spiraling kick. Hardman comes up, makes the grab, 30-yard line. Bodies are blocked into one another. There will be no flags there. And Hardman has the football at the 31 after a 38-yard punt by J.K. Scott. And no return.
Eli, right now, Bama's on a streak of 4 consecutive series of 3 and outs on the offense. So after that initial drive, Georgia has made some adjustments. They've taken away some of the things that Alabama was trying to do in terms of those perimeter throws and runs, and they're really putting the game in the lap of Jalen Hurts and the passing game for Alabama.
Meanwhile, Javon Wims has returned from the Georgia locker room, but right now he does not have his helmet in hand or on his head. Normally an indication one will not be playing. 1:19 to go in the first half. 6-0 Georgia. Sony Michel, the running back, as the Bulldogs start 1st and 10 from their own 31. Here's Fromm throwing the out route, almost behind the intended receiver, but reaching for it. Riley Ridley, and he'll make a first down grab, an 11-yard pickup on the play. Well, a career night for Riley Ridley.
And again, an outside throw on first down, and obviously Georgia's hit some passes in the middle of the field on 3rd down.
Here now is the first down play. Fromm stands in, throws left, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, Terry Godwin. That time it falls off his hands, but he should have held on to it at the 43-yard line, and he taps himself on the chest, says, "My bad," and indeed it was. That would have been a big gainer for Georgia.
And of course the Dogs have 3 timeouts, a minute left, so you do the math, that's about 7 plays if they can continue to move the sticks. Bama trying to get a stop here on this side of the 50-yard line.
Riley Ridley, 62 receiving yards. Calvin Ridley, 9 receiving yards tonight in the brother battle. Here now Fromm on a 2nd and 10. Looks left, throws, nearly picked off, and over the head of the intended receiver as well. Incomplete, a high pass. Anthony Averett nearly intercepted it, and Terry Godwin nearly caught it, but neither man able to make the play. And it's a 3rd down and 10 for Georgia from their own 41. They are 50% tonight, 5 of 10 in 3rd down plays.
Well, you talk about the game-changing error. That was almost it, because that was an extremely dangerous throw from Fromm to the outside, and Anthony Averett just about had an interception and perhaps a pick 6.
Sony Michel, the running back, gets the handoff, big hole left side. He's got himself a first down across midfield, down to the Alabama 46 as he slashed to the left. Got great blocking. 49 seconds to go, a pickup of 15 on the play.
Well, another sub-run successful for Georgia.
Here's Fromm again, stands in, looks and throws that one onto his own team's bench on the far side of the field, and that one is incomplete with 39 seconds now remaining, and there is a flag down. Let's check in with Chris Stewart, our Cook's Pest Control sideline report.
Illegal substitution. The defense had more than 11 players on the field at this. It's a 5-yard penalty, and it remains first down.
Alabama couldn't decide
whether
or what they were going to do on the substitution there. You had Raekwon Davis and also Tony Brown. They couldn't make the sub. One of them got stuck on the field. It was Tony late getting off, and that's why the flag came in.
4 penalties, a loss of 25 yards. Far different than the clean performance of a Monday night ago against Clemson. 39 seconds to go in the half. Georgia up 6-0. Here's a 1st and 5 from the Alabama 40. Fromm tosses it near side to Swift. DeAndre turns the corner and is run out of bounds by Mac Wilson as he gets to the 30-yard line.
Yep, that's going to be a first down, of course, for Georgia. 35 seconds on the clock. Georgia got 3 timeouts. They've got upwards 5, 6 more plays. Alabama's got to withstand this. And look for Jeremy Pruitt to maybe dial up some pressure, because remember, Rodrigo Blankenship hit the 55-yarder at the end of the half of the Rose Bowl. And here they could be in range and make it a 2-score game. Bama's got to get a stop outside of the 30, 35-yard line here.
Ran behind Isaiah Wynn that time. Now with 35 seconds to go from the 33, 1st and 10. Here's Fromm, steps up, big hole, lots of running room, 30, 25, 20, 19-yard line. Everybody went all which directions, nobody covered the middle, 14-yard run, and now timeout will be taken by the Georgia Bulldogs. Wow.
Georgia, that's their first 30-second timeout.
So the timeout for Georgia, their first.
Well, and right there, Bama lost their rush lane integrity. It opened up. Bama, of course, not really respecting the running ability of Jake Fromm. They drop off in coverage. By the time they rally to the football, he's picked up 14 yards. And now Georgia inside the 20-yard line of Alabama. It's an interesting sequence of events about to occur here. Kirby Smart, do you feel like you have the field goal in your pocket and you play for that, or you take a nibble at the end zone here? You've certainly got time. You've got timeouts, 2 of them left. But you, of course, there's a risk reward there. But a field goal for Georgia would be big here, because it put the Tide down 9-0.
Total yards, Georgia 205, Alabama 95. Bama has passed for 21 and rushed for 94. Here with Nick Chubb now in the backfield, a 1st and 10, Georgia from the Bama 19. Fromm backpedals, stands in, looks left, throws left, catch made at the goal line, and then out of bounds. Terry Godwin at about the 3-yard line. He got position and picks up a 16-yard reception down to the 3.
Yep, and they'll reset the football after the first down. The clock will wind. There's 21 seconds left. Dogs with 2 timeouts. They've got 3 shots here at the end zone.
Nick Chubb, handoff up the middle, no. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, nothing further. Deron Payne stops him, and timeout being called by Georgia. Their second.
Georgia, their second timeout, 30-second timeout.
Well, again, time is really not a factor here. Georgia's got another timeout left. This is 2nd down coming up. The Dogs can run it or throw it here with the timeout in their pocket. If they decide to throw and it's incomplete, they could then come back and run it on 3rd down, because they would still have 1 more timeout to use for the field goal. So Bama has to be prepared for run or pass. And, of course, I hate to say it, but a pick play down here with the Georgia Bulldogs. Remember, they ran one against Auburn in the SEC championship game, and it was waved off. So they do have that in their offensive package.
You wonder what Big Ten officials, how attuned they are to looking for pick plays.
Well, I'm sure that they've watched tapes on both Georgia and Alabama to know some of the tendencies. Of course, Georgia would refer to it as a rub play. Bama's defense right now would refer to it as a pick play. But this is obviously the biggest moment in this football game so far at 2nd and 2 with 15 seconds left on the clock.
2 wides to the right side, Wims wide to the left. Swift, the running back, throw to Wims over his head, incomplete. They tried to work on the near side corner.
Roughing the passer.
And there's going to be a call on Alabama.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 14. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
Yeah.
So Deontay Thompson, of course, it's not critical. That's only going to be about a yard here.
But it is, because it gives them a fresh set of downs.
Yeah.
And so now Georgia has at least 2, perhaps 3 shots here from the 1-yard line with a stop clock at 12 seconds. It depends on what happens on this first play. Look for maybe a quick throw or something outside, but they do have a timeout, so they can run it here as well. And they're going to the Wild Dog.
They're going to go to the Wild Dog right here. Mecole Hardman gets the snap. He'll come to the near side. Touchdown, Georgia. Mecole Hardman out of the wild dog.
Well, again, after the back shoulder fade completion, then a roughing the passer penalty, it gave Georgia some extra plays down inside the 5-yard line. That wildcat, they call it the wild dog, awfully tough to defend, and now Blankenship on the verge of putting the Dogs up 13-0 with virtually no time left on the clock, 7 seconds.
He has hit all 61 extra points that he has tried this year. And now he has hit 62 of them in succession.
I mean, we just can't move the ball effectively. We haven't been able to throw it effectively at all. So, and I don't think it's just all the quarterback. I think it's the whole group. We got to get open. We got to protect better. And, you know, defensively, we're making too many mistakes, especially on third down when we got a chance to get off the field. So, had plenty of chances to stay in the ball game and get things fixed at halftime.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Nick.
All right, thanks.
And again, according to my stats, this is the first time since 2007 that Alabama has been shut out in the first half. Here's Chris and the coach.
Coach, what's got to change to turn this around?
Well, we obviously got to do something on offense. We got no momentum on offense. We can't sustain any drives. We only made a couple big plays. We don't have any first downs. The defense is on the field the whole time. And the defense is making a lot of mental errors, especially on third down where we got chances to get off the field and we're not getting off the field. So they keep sustaining drives on us, and we got to stop that.
Thank you.
Bama's got to make sure they protect up here. I mean, Georgia showing perhaps a rush.
J.K. blocked. Flags are down. It is blocked, but again, there are flags down. One would guess that Georgia jumped.
It's offsides on Georgia.
Yeah, they were in there far too quickly for it not to have been a penalty on Georgia.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty.
That'll bring up a 4th and 3.
Replay, 4th down.
Well, the good news, Georgia was offsides. The bad news is that there were about 6 Georgia Bulldogs that penetrated and were right there in the face of J.K. Scott.
Miles McGinty.
Now Georgia's going to play return here.
The guilty man. And now J.K. booms this one. Mecole Hardman grabs it at the 17. Goes laterally, outraces a couple of men. Big hole, but he's taken down as he crosses the 35 out to the 37-yard line. And now a Bulldog player is down, grasping his left knee.
I'll tell you, Cam Sims saved a potential touchdown right there. He was the last man that had a chance to tackle Mecole Hardman. He got him on the ground with a big shot delivered there at the 35-yard line.
Now Georgia, Jake Fromm, the quarterback. The single running back is Nick Chubb. 2 wides either way. Here's the give to Chubb. He'll go right, spins around, put down by Alabama. Ronnie Harrison, the first man to come up, and then teammates joined him at the 30. Great job by the Bama defensive front to force the Georgia offensive line back.
Well, we talked all week about Alabama's run defense on the perimeter, and that time Ronnie Harrison met Chubb at the line of scrimmage and ultimately forced him into a 3-yard loss.
2nd down and 13 from their own 33. Georgia leads 13-0 early 3rd quarter. Motion to the near side. Jeb Blazevich, the tight end. Throw to the near side, caught, but Rashaan Evans is there, turns the play backwards, and then it's Isaiah Buggs who'll come in and put the receiver down. Great job as they unloaded the football in a hurry on the left side, but Alabama took everything away from DeAndre Swift.
Well, tremendous
and forced
play
it back.
by Isaiah Buggs. He was fortunate not to get called for a face mask, but he brought down DeAndre Swift with one arm, and Swift goes about 225 pounds. He's one of the best true freshman running backs in the country.
So now a 3rd down and 21. Georgia from their own 25. 3 wides left, 1 to the right. The single setback again, DeAndre Swift. He'll get the handoff, goes right side, boom! Put down by Rashaan Evans. Backed up by Minkah Fitzpatrick. And Alabama now doing a great job defensively as Georgia will punt it away The Bulldog fans still thought they got cheated out of a penalty flag on that penultimate play.
Well, Bama gets the 3 and out that they were looking for to open this second half after Tua Tagovailoa made his debut in this national championship game. But Bama is 1 score away from being right in this game. So a really positive start for the Bama D.
Pressure, no chance to get to it. It's kicked and taken by Trayvon to the 30-35 at the near side 40. And then he goes out of bounds as he's tackled at his own 42-yard line. A 41-yard punt down the return by Diggs out to the 42. It'll be a 12-yard return for him. We have got timeout taken now with 10:51 remaining in the third quarter of play. If you're just joining us, Jalen Hurts, 3 of 8 passing in the first half for 21 yards. Bama offense really sputtered. So the second half begins with Tua Tagovailoa in at quarterback. Alex Leatherwood in now for Jonah Williams at the left tackle spot for Alabama. Tua with Scarborough behind him. Play action fake. Tua stands up. Tua goes long. Looks for Calvin Ridley, who dives and misses it at the 10-yard line. Tua aired it out, looking for Calvin Ridley. He had time. Great work by the offensive line, but the pass just misconnects by that much.
Well, that was a play-action fake out of the pistol. The Bama front gives him plenty of time, and Calvin Ridley had a step on Malcolm Parrish. He's the corner that I think is the weakest of the trio, and so Alabama challenges him down the field and unfortunately misses on the connection.
Scarborough out of the pistol formation, 2 wides left and 1 to the right. Here's a 2nd down and 10 from the 44. Tua again to throw, stands in. The lefty has to be flushed from the pocket. He'll lower his shoulders, gets across the 45, but there's going to be holding against Alabama on the near side of the offensive line, and there'll be a penalty on the Crimson Tide. It'll be their 6th penalty of the night.
There is no foul on the play. The play results in a first down.
Now, the play does not result in a first down. It was only a pickup of 3.
It's going to be third.
Correction. It is 3rd down.
It'll be 3rd down and 7, but there's no penalty on the hold.
That's one of the differences between Tua and Jalen Hurts. He looks to throw first and run second, and now Alabama looking at 3rd and 7 here.
From their own 47-yard line, Bradley Bozeman sees Tua come up to audible. Tua then yells to Bo Scarborough, standing to his left. 3 wides right, 1 to the left. Tua to throw. Stands there, has time, everybody's covered. Tua now runs to the near side, cuts back, absorbs 3 hits. It's around Bozeman, goes to the left side. He's to the 50, he's forward, he's got a first down to the 44-yard line. What a play by Tua Tagovailoa.
Wow, Georgia underestimated the strength in the lower body of Tua Tagovailoa. He got hit by 3 Bulldogs, spins out of it, pirouettes, runs to his left, and picks up the first down.
Tua now with Alabama looking at a 1st and 10 from the Bulldog 44. Play action fake. Tua throws across the middle. Complete first down inside the 30 to Foster. He'll spot it officially at the 28. A 15-yard gainer, and Bama is moving the chain.
Well, you can feel the momentum shift. Tua's brought a pep and energy to this offense. He's quick with his decisions, and of course the scramble was sensational.
Tua, quick release near side. Screen play. Goes right side. Taken there by Ruggs, and Henry fights his way towards the 20-yard line. It'll be short of the first down by about a yard. He needed the 19. So the pickup of 9 on the play. But you're right, Tua releasing in a giant hurry there.
Well, he gets rid of the football, and Brian Dable's a professional NFL coordinator. He wants to throw by nature, and Tua's giving him that opportunity here.
The fake give and the throw, sliding catch by Ruggs. First down to the 6-yard line. Nice throw down low, and Henry Ruggs makes the 14-yard grab.
Well, and that was right in the face of a pass rush, and Tua whipped it with the left hand low and safe to Henry Ruggs III.
1st and goal from the 6. 7th play of the drive. Tua has Scarborough to his left. They're all using hand signals to communicate against the din of the crowd. Twice he claps his hands. Tua gets the snap. He'll throw into the back of the end zone. Touchdown! Henry Ruggs, thank you very much. Alabama in business with a touchdown on this drive with Tua Tagovailoa showing the way.
Well, Henry Ruggs is on the on the far outside right. They call what they term a spin concept. Inside receiver goes up, hooks up, and then Ruggs goes over the top across the back line of the end zone. Tua stands tall and delivers a Hawaiian strike for the touchdown.
That was a Hawaiian punch right into the face of the Bulldogs. 6 yards. Extra point try, Andy Papanastis. And it is up and good. Chris Stewart, a whole lot of energy on that Bama sideline now.
Powder keg on the sideline, and the first guy out to greet Tua didn't even get near the hash. The guy that came out to greet him, Jalen Hurts.
And that's what being a teammate is all about. The Brombergs forever Mark Diamond scoring drive. 7 plays, 56 yards in 1 minute and 59 seconds. Bama's in business. It's Georgia 13, the Crimson Tide 7. Mecole Hardman is deep across the way, and Elijah Holyfield, son of the real deal, is deep to the near side. Wonder if somebody's going to try and bite his ear off as they go by. Here now is a kick, goes to the far side. Hardman a yard deep in the end zone. Comes out to the numbers. Down he goes. Down goes Hardman as Bama was inspired and came calling with special teams tacklers.
Well, Eli, I know we're on radio, but you can visually see the acceleration, the burst. This entire Alabama team has been lifted by Tua Tagovailoa in that performance on the last drive. Let's see if this Bama defense can dial it up and get a 3 and out here inside the 10-yard line.
Now from the 8-yard line, here comes Georgia. Out of the huddle. They'll walk to the line of scrimmage. By the way, that was Brian Robinson who made that great open field tackle on special teams for Bama. I don't believe I mentioned his name. Here now is Fromm. Play action fake, throws near side. Catch made on the fingertips by Godwin, and he's out across the 20 with a first down to the 21-yard line. You got to give credit where it's due. Great throw and catch from the quarterback to Godwin for 14 yards.
Yeah, that's their version of the RPO, the run-pass option, except Fromm rarely runs it. He just play fakes and threw a strike to Godwin on the inside of Anthony Averett.
2 wides to the right, 1 man, Godwin, wide to the left. The running back is Nick Chubb. The Bulldogs look to the far sideline. Play being signaled in. Chubb positions to the right of his quarterback. Here's the snap, the give to Chubb. Here comes Everett, and Anthony gets him down. Anthony Everett, the right cornerback, shut the gap and got Chubb in the backfield. A big-time loss all the way back to the 13-yard line. It's going to be a 2nd down and 18.
Well, give credit to Jeremy Pruitt, the defensive coordinator. He dialed up the corner cat into the boundary. Georgia runs the sweep, and Anthony Everett is right there in the face, or actually at the lower body of Nick Chubb to force the negative yardage play.
2nd down and 18 from their own 13. The give to Chubb goes right side. He'll fight to the 20-yard line. Deron Payne and others are there to make the stop, and it'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 now. He got 8 yards back, maybe missed by a yard. He got 7 back, so it'll be a 3rd down and 11. Well, Georgia 6 of 12 and 3rd down.
Yeah, and Bama's been consistent in terms of laying off and trying to play coverage and get a rush with 4. Maybe Jeremy Pruitt decides after the half to dial up some pressure here on the true freshman.
Sony Michel, left of the quarterback, gets the snap. Fromm stands in. Fromm goes long. A man behind the D makes the grab. Right sideline. It's Mecole Hardman down the right sideline for a Georgia touchdown. There is a flag, however, on the field. We'll wait and see what it is about.
Well, what a beautiful throw by Jake Fromm. He laced it right over the shoulder of Mecole Hardman.
The officials out of the Big Ten Conference, led by referee Dan Capron, a lawyer from Chicago. Let's see what he says.
sideline interference penalty against Georgia. It's enforced as a dead ball foul. The touchdown is good, and the penalty will be enforced 15 yards on the kickoff.
It'll be an 80-yard play. 80 yards.
Well, Hardman is a difficult matchup in the slot, and he's going against Tony Brown, the fastest player on the Alabama team, but he got behind him, and then he shook free from the senior, and Hardman goes into the end zone for an 80-yard touchdown bomb.
Now the extra point by Rodrigo Blankenship. 4 plays, 93 yards.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
4 plays, 93 yards in 2 minutes. We're watching the replay to see if Hardman went out of bounds. Well, he kicked Tony Brown, who was out of bounds, but I don't believe his foot ever went out. We're watching it again. It looks like he stayed in. He kicked Tony Brown inadvertently. Everybody's looking up at the big screen. His left heel might have been touching the white. They'll have to replay that. If he is out of bounds, it'll be around the 20-yard line or so.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. It's a touchdown.
The Brombergs for Evermark Diamond scoring drive. 4 plays, 93 yards in 1 minute and 55 seconds.
Well, that was the last thing Alabama wanted to have happen. An explosive play over their heads, but Georgia gets it done from to Hardman for 80 yards.
Rodrigo Blankenship for the extra point. He hasn't missed one all year. He still hasn't. So it's now 20-7.
Well, Bama gets the corner cat. Negative yardage play, 2nd and 18. Then give up a short run for a 3rd down situation. And on 3rd and 10, the Dogs go over the top for a touchdown.
Well, there's still lots of football to be played. We've still got 6:52 remaining in the 3rd. But Bama has to answer now, Phil.
Well, Bama, of course, answered on that last drive with Tua Tagovailoa, but look, a lot of time left. We're barely across the midway point of the 3rd quarter. This pacing has been fairly frenetic for 2 teams that usually take the air out of the football, but I expect Alabama to now have some answers offensively. They had Georgia off balance with the RPOs on that last drive, and Tua Tagovailoa to Henry Ruggs III. And Eli, when Bama came out at the beginning of the 2nd half, Tua went up to Ruggs and they did one of those choreographed handshakes, high fives, and you can tell those two have worked together in practice a ton throughout this season.
That 15-yard penalty is assessed here on the kickoff. So they're going to kick the ball from the 20-yard line to Diggs or Jacobs. It's a good kick. Jacobs from the 5 to the 10, 15, 20. Cuts through Batties, gets to the 25-yard line, and that's where Alabama will start. So a 20-yard return, but again, some great work on special teams for the Georgia Bulldogs. So the penalty really doesn't hurt them because had it been a touchback, Bama still would have started from the same spot, the 25.
I tell you, you're impressed with the leg strength of Blankenship. He drilled that ball down the middle of the field, and it looked like there was a lot of room ahead of Josh Jacobs, but those red jerseys closed in on him, and Alabama's got 75 yards out in front of him here to get another touchdown.
2 wideouts, Ridley and Jerry Jeudy to the near side. 2 wides to the far. 1st and 10, Bama from their own 26. Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback. Ridley in motion, goes behind the quarterback. Tua looks, Tua steps up, Tua slides, Tua throws long. It's going to be caught on a one-hopper. No. It was caught, but the one hopper, says the official, and Devontae Smith agrees and trots back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, Bama went 4 wides that time, Eli. They're not what they call a red team, 4 wides, but they put them out there, and now Irv Smith Jr. goes back on the field. This is typically the set that Bama's in. 3 wides and a tight end. Of course, Irv is detached, though, as a wide receiver.
On the 2nd and 10, Tua rolls to his left. Tua hit as he throws. It's intercepted at the 40-yard line by the Georgia Bulldogs. DeAndre Baker with an interception, and Georgia's got it going the other way.
That was a designed sprint out. There is a flag on the far boundary, Eli, but that was designed sprint out for Tua Tagovailoa to the left, his throwing side. I think Alabama may get this ball back.
Sideline warning, assessed against Georgia. That's their first. There's no...
Nope.
That was their second, was it not? Let's check in with Chris downstairs.
Eli, they called sideline interference on that first play, which happened during the touchdown. And frankly, I'm not sure of the difference, but I think it was because someone got in the way of the official on the touchdown play. That's why it was phrased differently. That's why the infraction was different.
1st and 10 from the Bama 39. Sony Michel, the running back. Tight end, Blazevich, left side. Quarterback Fromm under pressure, stands in, throw, tipped, intercepted, Raekwon Davis. Raekwon to the 50. Raekwon down to the near side. He's to the 40-yard line. Raekwon Davis with an interception for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and now the pendulum is swung the other way.
Well, Eli, if in fact Bama can come back and win this game, we've got our turning point, because that was it. Georgia ready to put the hobnail boot on Alabama's throat, and Raekwon Davis comes up with the tipped interception. That ball actually went off the head of Deshaun Hand, who was rushing Jake Fromm. We were just bragging about Fromm protecting the football, but the big fella from Meridian, Mississippi makes his presence felt here in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
A 20-yard run back, now Bama. 1st and 10 from the Georgia 40. 6:21 to go in the third. Lots of football yet to play. Georgia 20, Alabama 7. Tua Tagovailoa, play action fake. Rolls to his left, directs traffic, he'll run. 40, 35, spun down at the 33-yard line. It'll bring up a 2nd down and a deuce. 2nd and a couple for the Crimson Tide.
Well, the thing about Tua is when he gets to the apex of his drop, Eli, he's always moving forward. So when he takes off or his eyes are downfield, there's a purposefulness to his running.
Here now, the 2nd down and 2. Tua gives to Damian Harris. He'll get the 1st down as he fights and fights and fights some more down to the 25-yard line. Pickup of 7 on that play.
Wow, what a big-time turnover by that Bama defense. Off the head of Hand into the arms of Davis, and now Alabama on the march.
From the 25, 1st and 10. Tua steps back, pressure, blind side, throws towards the end zone. Caught by Sims, but out of bounds. Caught by Cam Sims, but clearly out of bounds at the back of the end zone.
Well, the thing about Tua right now that Georgia has to be concerned with is that these passes are going way downfield. Yeah. It's not just all underneath. And so he has threatened the field horizontally with his legs and down the field with his legs, with his arm rather, and that has really put the stretch on this Georgia Bulldog defense.
Jerry Jeudy is in for Sims. Here's a 2nd down and 10, Bama from the Georgia 25. Tua stands in, looks and throws into the middle. A screen, it's caught, then dropped and incomplete. A center screen to Calvin Ridley. He couldn't hang on to it, and one guy actually, Dominic Sanders, had his eyes on an interception, but could not come up with it either.
Bama got away with one there. The ball got away from Calvin Ridley, tried to make a one-handed juggling catch. It ricocheted up into the air, and Bama avoided disaster there. Now looking at 3rd and 10 from the 25.
Bama 2 of 8 in 3rd down conversions tonight. Wideouts either way. Tight man-to-man coverage. Tua in the shotgun. Sends Jeudy in motion. Tua looks, throws across the middle, incomplete. He had to unload it in a hurry because he was being chased from behind. He was looking for Henry Ruggs, but couldn't find him. And now a field goal try by Andy Papanastos.
Yep, and of course, Joe Panunzio, the special teams coordinator, he looks at Coach Saban. Coach Saban said, send him out there. So here's Andy Papanastos from the dead center of the field. This one will be 43 yards away from the middle.
He hit a 46-yarder against Colorado State earlier this year. This is a 43-yarder. Scott Meyer will snap it. J.K. Scott puts it down. Kick right down the middle. Thank you very much. Bama still needed that score right there.
Well, they did, but that's a win for Georgia. That was a game-changing interception for Alabama, a momentum-changing event, and Georgia rose up in the high red zone again, and they forced the field goal from Alabama.
The Brombergs forever Mark Diamond scoring drive. 6 plays, 15 yards in 1 minute and 6 seconds. So let's do the math here. You know me and my math, it's not that great. You write it down, Phil. Raekwon Davis, 306. Deron Payne, 308. What's that? 614 pounds. The combined weight of the men who made interceptions last week and this week.
Well, Bama, again, it was the pass rush and making Jake Fromm throw over the top rather than through the gaps in the defensive front. It ricochets off of Deshaun Hand's headgear, and Raekwon Davis picks up the interception. Alabama picks up 3 points, now down 10 with still 5 minutes and 15 seconds left in this third quarter.
Here's the kick. Mecole Hardman, 2 yards deep in the end zone, takes a knee. Second touchback of the day, kicked by J.K. Scott. As we pause 10 seconds here, a little pushing and shoving, and a flag's come flying in. Tony Brown was in the middle of that. Mekhi Brown was in the middle of that.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 48 on Alabama. That's a 15-yard penalty, and that's number 48's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game.
That was Mekhi Brown. He and Tony Brown both there. Nick Saban is just livid on the sidelines.
Well, every yard is precious in this game, especially when you're trying to scrap to get back into it. Instead of starting at the 25, now Georgia starts at the 40.
That's the 6th penalty on the Tide for a loss of 41 yards. Stations, we owe you a station ID. We will get to it here in the next moment or so. But Georgia's coming to the line of scrimmage, so we'll stay right here with the play. 1st and 10 from the 41. 3 wides to the left side. Chubb is the running back. Here's the give. Chubb up the middle. He'll get 5 yards to the 45. Georgia up 20-10. Here's the give to Chubb. Nothing there. Bama puts him down. That play will lose a yard and a half back out to the 44 of Georgia.
When the last time Georgia was in a third down situation, they went over the top of the Bama defense for 80 yards. Now they're looking at 3rd and 6 with 4:15 and counting in this third quarter.
Sony Michel, 8 carries, 61 yards. Nick Chubb, 13 carries, 16 yards. DeAndre Swift, 4 carries, 15 yards. Bama doing a pretty good job on the Georgia runners. Here now is the 3rd down. Fromm steps back. Fromm looks. Fromm airs it out to the sideline. It is caught. And then stepping out of bounds is Riley Ridley. Somebody needs to go down there and tell Calvin to slap his brother a little bit here.
There's those outside throws. That's where Fromm is his most confident. And that time it was Riley Ridley matched up on Levi Wallace. He beat him to the sideline for the 1st down.
1st and 10. Ball now at the Alabama 43-yard line. Heading to our left, Sony Michel. Now in at the running back spot. 3 wides left and 1 man wide to the right. That's Ridley. Here's the give to Michel. Big hole. Pulled down, though, by Mack Wilson as he threatened to get gone in a hurry, and Mack reached out and grabbed him as he went by. Nice play by Mack. Christian Miller also on the scene there, blitzing through and couldn't quite make the play.
I tell you what, again, a week ago in the Rose Bowl, that's a touchdown. But Mack Wilson, with the strength from his inside backer position, able to drag down Sony Michel after a pickup of 5 yards.
So it's 2nd down and 5, ball at the Alabama 38. 3 minutes to go, third period. Georgia up 20-10. 2 wides, right side, handoff. No, the quarterback will keep it. And he is not fooling anybody defensively. And he gets thrown down back at the 40-yard line by Mack Wilson, who is there to make the play with Christian Miller watching and cheering him on.
Yeah, and he tried to rough up the Georgia quarterback. Probably got away with one there in terms of a personal foul. The officials let it go, but Bama dodged a huge error right there. Mack Wilson shoving the back of the head of Jake Fromm.
Shaheem Carter now checks in for Alabama in the defensive secondary. Here's a 3rd and 6. Georgia from the Alabama 39. Fromm waits off the far hash mark. Gets the snap, backpedals, looks to throw, does on a curl route. It's knocked out of the hands of the receiver. Incomplete. Riley Ridley separated from the football by Levi Wallace, who makes a huge play.
Well, I tell you, Eli, we've talked about Levi Wallace all season. It was in this building that he stepped in for Trayvon Diggs, took over the left cornerback role, and what has been the main characteristic for him, never giving up on a play. That time the Georgia receiver had both hands on the football, but he was able to pry it loose and force the punt.
Here now is a rugby-style kick by Bryce Ramsey. It is fielded by Trayvon Diggs at the 20-yard line. Bryce Ramsey, a quarterback in his 4th appearance this year for the Georgia Bulldogs, and Alabama will have the ball from their own 20-yard line after a 19-yard punt. 1:55 remaining in the third.
Well, some trickeration there for the Georgia punt team. They had Bryce Ramsey in there. He's, of course, a quarterback by trade, and they were looking to see if Bama dropped coverage. They didn't, so then he pooches up the left-footed rugby-style punt. Now Alabama starts at their own 20.
1st and 10. Tua Tagovailoa is the quarterback. Gets the snap, hands off the ball. Scarborough turns it north-south after starting east-west. He's got a 1st down out across the 35 to the 36-yard line. 16 yards on the run by Bo Scarborough.
Well, first time in 2 weeks we've seen Bo Scarborough get headed north and south with some room to run. He picks up 16 yards.
Empty backfield, 5 men in the formation. Tua Tagovailoa in the empty backfield, steps back into the shotgun. The snap from Bozeman, waist high, throw across, caught by Ridley. He'll spin inside of a defender and get thrown down at the 42-yard line. Play picks up 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4 upcoming for Alabama.
Well, again, Georgia, they now counter with their nickel package. 4 down linemen, 2 linebackers, five people in the secondary trying to combat this Alabama throwing game.
2nd and 3, handoff Scarborough, nothing. He's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a 3rd down and 3 from Alabama's own 43-yard line. Marshall came shooting in. That's the defensive end on the right side to make a big stop.
Well, this has to be your most secure passing play to pick up 3 yards.
Tagovailoa with Scarborough to his left. 3 wides right, 1 left. Throw to Scarborough. Makes the catch, but he is hit and put down immediately by the defense. That was Roquan Smith, the outstanding linebacker, to make the play.
Well, he was man-to-man with Bo Scarborough, and that was that little shoot route where Bo takes off out of the backfield down that near boundary. Roquan Smith, he's the closest thing I've seen to a Ray Lewis type of defender. I know he's been compared to Reuben Foster, but he is the emotional leader of this Georgia defense.
Now Terry Godwin is back to field a punt from J.K. Scott. Sky high, that spiraling punt. Fair catch, says Godwin. And he'll make the grab, standing at his own 10-yard line. And that's where, after a 46-yard punt, the Georgia Bulldogs will be going to work 1st and 10.
Well, Eli, they're going to let them play here. We had no rhythm in the first half. We've got governors visiting and presidents potentially coming in, and a ton of timeouts and commercials. Now this second half, they've let this game get some rhythm. There's a definite back and forth type of feel, and Alabama gets a chance defensively to throw a counter punch with Georgia backed up at the minus 10-yard line.
8 seconds remaining in the period. Third quarter. Georgia comes to the line of scrimmage. They'll start 1st and 10 from their 10. Fromm claps his hands. Handoff up the middle. Sony Michel gets a couple of yards as this quarter will come to an end. It is Alabama down 20-10 after 3 quarters here in Atlanta. Bama 191 yards, 75 passing, 116 rushing. First downs, Bama with 9, Georgia with 20. Total plays, 45 for the Tide and 62 for Georgia. Time of possession, 17:46 for the Tide and 27:14 for the Bulldogs. Meanwhile, we'll check with Chris Stewart here in just a moment. Chris, it looks like there's some medical problem on the Alabama sideline. What can you tell?
Yeah, just Kyrie McDonald has been loaded onto a stretcher for Crimson Tide, and I've not been able to get any word as to what the injury was, what the status is. But it's not the orthopedic staff, it's the training staff, and it is sports medicine that I see with him right now. But we'll give you more details when we have them.
All right, Chris, thank you. On a first play here, Sony Michel on a 2nd and 7 goes up the middle, picks up 12 yards for the first down for the Georgia Bulldogs. We're now in the 4th quarter. Alabama needs to get the ball back.
Well, Bama's got to get a stop and keep Georgia in the place. They couldn't do it there. The Dogs pick up a first down off out of the shadow of their own end zone.
Here's Michel. Goes left, runs into a couple of men, runs hard right through them, and gets out to the 27-yard line. Terrell Lewis makes the stop again. Kyrie McDonald is the man who has got some problem on the Alabama sideline. They loading him onto a stretcher, and we'll update you if we get any information. Here's a 2nd and 5 now, Georgia, from their own 28. Sony Michel stays in. Gets the handoff, big hole, secondary, first down, over the 40 to the 41-yard line. This starts to remind you of the latter stages of the game against Clemson last year, when Clemson started running all these plays and got up to 99 snaps.
Well, of course, in this case, it's on the ground. Georgia has used that tray formation, tight end into the boundary, 3 wide receivers together out to the wide side of the field. They've created these 6-man boxes, and they've been able to block Alabama up at different times on the ground.
Nick Chubb is now in. Hand off to him. He'll go the left side across the 45 to the 46. A pickup of 5 on the play. 13-19 to go in the ball game.
Georgia on the move, and of course that clock just dribbles off second by second. But Bama, they're down 10, but more importantly, they need a stop. They've got to get the football back here without giving up any more points.
Here's a 2nd and 3 officially from the 48. Fromm, handoff, Chubb, nothing that time. He got stopped at the line of scrimmage. Play will actually lose a yard. Mack Wilson contained and controlled, and then Rashaan Evans.
Well, the Georgia offense has done the job on this drive. They started at their own 10-yard line, and they've moved it all the way out to midfield. So even if Bama gets a stop here, the Tide offensively will take over this football inside their own 20, most likely.
Georgia 8 of 15 in 3rd down conversions. Here's a 3rd and 4. They need to get to the Bama 49. Fromm stands back under pressure. Raekwon Davis put him down. Sack number 3 of the ball game. That was huge right there, because Georgia will punt it away, but Alabama will not be pinned quite as deeply, one would hope.
Well, he is a mountain of a man from Meridian, Mississippi. The Meridian freight train just hit Jake Fromm, and now Trayvon Diggs going to field his football probably on the plus side of the 20.
Nizelek punts it away. It bounces. Trayvon's got it. It's 18, 17, and down he goes. He is snowed under there. Remember, Georgia led 21-10 in the third quarter in the 2012 SEC championship game. Bama won the ball game. Here's Najee Harris now to the right side of Tua. Hand off to Najee. Finds a hole. Breaks free. Najee's into the secondary across the 30. First down out to the 33-yard line. Still lots of time. 11:32 remaining in the game. A 15-yard run for young Najee Harris.
Well, that's your USA Today All-American backfield. Tua Tagovailoa handing the football off to Najee Harris out of Antioch, California.
First and 10 from the 33. Tagovailoa has Najee lined up in the pistol formation behind him. 2 wides left until Sims goes in motion. Play action fake. Tua throws right side. Sims grabs it. First down, far side 40. Spins off 2 men, 45. Out to the 46. And Alabama again with a big first down right there. The tackle by Trenton Thompson, the defensive tackle, who somehow stayed with that play.
It is so evident up here how quick Tua's eyes are. He can really process the reads. That time he looked down the middle of the field, then dropped it off on that bubble pass to Cam Sims.
From the 46, first and 10, going right to left. Tua, quick release, right side screen. Foster, right sideline, gets to the midfield stripe. A pickup of 4 on the play. And those reads tonight, and this to take nothing at all from Jalen, who after all is 25-2 as a starter for Alabama. He wasn't making those reads early tonight. He wasn't seeing them.
Well, they've just been trained and coached through the years of their careers. And Tua just has an instinctive flair about his play.
Here he hands it off to Najee. Najee breaks left side. Najee looks, hops over a man. Left side 30, 25, 20, 15. Spun out of bounds at the 12-yard line. Najee Harris, the freshman from Antioch, California. 37 yards behind Ross Piercebaker's initial block.
Well, Bama's been looking for an explosive play on the ground, and they got it that time from Najee Harris, 37 yards. Now Alabama setting up shop at the 13 of Georgia.
Obviously, Najee is fresh, hasn't played much. Here he gets a handoff, goes right side. Stutter step move, cuts back into the left. He gets down to the 11, a gain of 3 on the play. Cam Sims, by the way, came off the field for Alabama before. Trainer Jeff Allen began looking at his hand, so he, for the moment, has not been. He got blasted on that catch there when big Trenton Thompson tackled him.
Coach Saban talks about things being hard. It won't get any harder than down here inside the 20 against this Georgia defense. 2nd and
8 from the 12. Tua loads up, throws, end zone. Jerry Jeudy can't quite pull it in. Missed it by that much. He had the man there with him, a tight defense, lined up against the linebacker, Aaron Davis, but he couldn't quite pull it in.
Yeah, and that throw was to the back pylon to Jerry Jeudy in the slot going on out and up. But remember, Bama can pick up a first down here. It's 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8 actually from the 12 of Georgia, but there is room to pick up a first down here for Tua Tagovailoa.
Bama sends 2 wides to the right side. Now Damian Harris comes in motion out of the backfield. Timeout, Georgia. Timeout, Georgia. They didn't like what they saw.
Charge timeout, Georgia. Their first timeout of the half.
And while they break away, we will do so as well. Timeout, 9:34 to go in the game. Bama needs points. They're down 20-10. Tua Tagovailoa has Josh Jacobs to his right. Robert Foster wide to the far side. The tight end on the left is Irv Smith Jr. 3rd and 8 upcoming from the 12.
And Irv's capable as a receiver, but remember, Jonah Williams is out of the game, so Alex Leatherwood, the true freshman, is at left tackle.
Here's Tua now, waiting for the snap on the far hash mark. 3rd down and 8. Tua straight drop, looks, throws, end zone. Jerry Jeudy, no, and then intercepted out of bounds by Georgia. Jerry Jeudy had it off his fingertips Then it was pulled down out of bounds by Georgia's Dominic Sanders. So Alabama has a chance here to put some points on the board.
Yeah, they tried to send Jerry Jeudy
Wow.
the seam.
Let's wait and see here.
And Tua threw that ball.
They're going to review this, and that's going to be an interception. Dominic Sanders came down well in bounds with that football.
Eli, I don't know that he had control of that football. It was actually below his waist, and it was juggling and moving as he did go across the thick white stripe.
Oh, you're right. He had it. It was not in his control. You're exactly right. They are going to review it, though. He celebrates on the field, says that's right, as they call a timeout for the video review. But you're right, upon further review, he didn't have the ball.
Prior to the expiration of the play clock, the officials were notified that the previous play is under further review.
So they are going to look at it again.
Well, Sanders, remember, he's got a school record 16 interceptions, so he has a nose for the football. But in this case, I think the ball's going to be moving. He did not have control of it. Close, but no cigar for the Dogs.
Yeah. His feet are in. That's not the question, but the ball was in his hands. Then he pulled it towards his midsection and then goes out of bounds. He did not have control, but you're right. Sanders with 16 career interceptions. That's the Georgia record, along with Jake Scott and Bakari Ramball. The guy's quite the ball player.
Well, I tell you, he's really fit in well with this Kirby Smart and Mel Tucker defense. He's responded.
After further review, the defender never attained possession of the ball in bounds. The ruling on the field is confirmed. It's fourth down.
So Eli, Bama's going to get a chance to cap off this drive with a field goal try. We talked about at the very beginning of this possession, Bama needed points of some kind to make it a one-score game. But we absolutely knew that the red zone was going to be a virtual dogfight down in this part of the field because both of these defenses are just too good in this part of the field.
A 30-yard try for Andy Papanastis. Scott Meyer will snap it. J.K. Scott holds it. It is off the far hash mark. Kick up, kick, angles, kick just gets in. It's good. A 30-yard field goal by Andy Papanastis. Nicole Hardman and Elijah Holyfield are deep. Hardman goes to his right, makes the grab at the 1-yard line. Up the numbers, hit and put down at the 12. My goodness gracious, Mekhi Brown came in.
Well, of course, he was the guilty party on the last kickoff, and he responded to some Nick Saban coaching after that last kickoff return. So Alabama puts Georgia in the shadow of their own goalpost here at the 14-yard line of the Dogs.
All right, Bama's defense, let's see what they can do. Then the Tide needs to get the ball back and score again. 9:20 to go in the ball game.
Eli, Georgia knows they need another score to secure this win. Bama knows they need a stop to get back and tie this game and ultimately win it at the end or in overtime.
Nick Chubb is the running back. Gets the direct snap, goes left. He is going to be snowed under by Alabama. At the 13, the play will lose a yard. Rashaan Evans and Quinnen Williams taking that play down out of the Wildcat or Wild Dog, if you will.
Well, Coach Saban mentioned the Wildcat so much the other night on our show Saturday that you knew Bama would be prepared for it, and they've really shut down the Wild Dog.
Now Fromm is out there. Chubb is in the backfield. Wide outs either way. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Fromm is under Gilliard, his center. End around handoff. It comes to the near side. Good blocking out to the 25-yard line. And Nicole Hardman finally run out of bounds at the 22. It's still short of the first down. It'll bring up third down at about 4.
Well, there's one of those counter plays off of the tailback action that really is the centerpiece of this Georgia offense. And here comes Sony Michel on the field. And I tell you, he's been the more dangerous of the duo tonight.
Yeah.
He's run inspired between the tackles. He's been difficult to corral.
13 carries, 97 yards for him. Chubb, 16 for 21. They're going to the Wildcat again. Here's the snap, handoff inside, and nowhere to go. The snap went directly to Mecole Hardman. And then the Alabama Crimson Tide came up on the stop of Sony Michel. And that's down to 4th and 1, deep in Georgia territory. Great stop by Deron Payne, who stayed home in the inside on the interior.
Well, you talk about putting the squeeze on the Georgia run game. Bama did that time. That was a direct snap, as you described, Eli, to the wide receiver, who then handed to Sony Michel. Nothing doing inside, and now Alabama in prime position to get this football back in excellent field position.
Trayvon Diggs back at the 35-yard line, waiting for the punt. It's a big one. Nizilik booted it away. Trayvon makes the grab, 30, forward, 33, 34-yard line. Good field position from which to start. A 51-yard punt and the return of a handful of yards. Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback. Damian Harris to his left, now in motion. Tua fakes the goal, looks, throws out right to Damian, makes the grab, 35, around a man, 40, down the far sideline, 45, out to midfield, and down at the 48-yard line of the Georgia Bulldogs. Tua just stood there, looked at all of his reads.
A play fake, a fake run. The old Tim Tebow step forward, step back, play fake. Looks downfield, then swings it outside. This kid's got sensational eyes and a quick arm.
17 yards on the gainer here. Now he fakes the give and tries to take off. But Georgia alert to the play, and Trenton Thompson puts him down after a gain of a yard, angling to his right. It'll be a 2nd down and 9.
Well, you get the sense that when Bama plays fast, when they're getting some tempo going offensively, that they may have this Georgia defense a bit ragged. But now the Tide looking at a 2nd and 9.
Calvin Ridley goes wide right, 2 wideouts left. Tua talks to his tight end, Henches, who assumes the position. Here now under heavy pressure. Tua spins away. Tua looks, throws that one onto the sidelines of the Bulldogs. Incomplete. Calvin Ridley closest in the neighborhood. Now a 3rd down and 9 upcoming.
Trenton Thompson beat Matt Womack right at the line of scrimmage, so he was in the face of Tua Tagovailoa, and now the Tide looking at 3rd and 9. They have not been real effective on 3rd down all night. Now at 3 for 11 going into this snap.
2 of 11 and 3rd down conversions. Tua Tagovailoa with Harris to his right. Wideouts left and right. Here's Tua, stands in, looks, throws sideline, ball overthrown, flag on the play. There'll be a pass interference call. He was looking on the right side, but Malcolm Parrish interfered with Alabama's Devontae Smith.
Pass defense, number 14. 15-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
You talked about them looking towards Parrish all night.
He's been the intended target all night when Alabama has gotten these one-on-one type situations. And thank goodness Tua, of course, he threw that ball out of bounds, so the pass interference nullifies the uncatchable ball throw there by Tua. Now Alabama inside the 35.
From the 33, Georgia 5 penalties for a loss of 50. Here's the snap. Tua stands in. Tua loads up, throws the out route, caught far side. Jeudy, he's got it, 1st down to the 13-yard line. Jerry Jeudy with tons of time. Tua took that and threw for 20.
Well, Tua manipulates the pocket. I mean, for such a young player, I mean, this is a true freshman stepping in at the half of the national championship game, and he works the pocket. He manipulates the spacing in the pocket, finds the gap to throw through, and hits Jerry Jeudy on an over route for the 1st down.
Now here comes his buddy Henry Ruggs. They pass and catch all the time in practice. 2 wideouts left, plus Damian Harris. An empty backfield. Here's Tua, stands in, throws left side, caught by Ridley. No, knocked out of his hands. 8 yards deep into the end zone corner. He was there, but so too was the Bulldog defender who was posing for the crowd. That was DeAndre Baker.
Yeah, that was a slot fade. In other words, Calvin Ridley ended up on the inside as the second receiver. He stems upfield, then goes to the back corner, and just about came up with an unbelievable catch over his left shoulder.
Baker reached in and knocked the ball loose. Harris now to the left of Tua on a 2nd down and 10. Tua goes left. Thought about going upfield, does. He's down to the 5-yard line, and he's tackled there. It'll be a 3rd down and a yard. Again, Bama can get the 1st down without the touchdown, and they'll have 2 chances at doing that right here. The Tide 2 of 11 in 3rd down conversions.
Well, this is 4-down territory all day long because Bama's down 7. I don't think they take the field goal if they don't get this. I think this is a 4th down try, depending what happens here on 3rd down.
It'll be 3rd down and a couple. Damian Harris lined up in the pistol formation. Gets the handoff, goes right, they gang tackle him. He is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Led again by Trenton Thompson, who here in the 2nd half has just feasted on the Alabama offensive front.
It's a big decision here for Nick Saban because he's down 7. A field goal certainly helps, but it still leaves you down 4. So this is the play of the game in many respects because Alabama obviously has to get this conversion to continue moving the football, perhaps even get a score to tie this game up.
Huge play. Play clock inside of 10 seconds. Tua stands in. Here's the 4th down and 3. And now whistles. Timeout, says Nick Saban, as the play clock was down to 1 second.
Well, timeout, Alabama.
I like the
their
use
first
of
timeout of the half. It will be a 30-second timeout.
I like the use of the timeout there. Look, this is essentially the game on the line. You want to make sure that all 11 players know exactly what their responsibility is, what the design of the play is, in order to pick up these 4 yards for a 1st down or perhaps 7 yards for a touchdown.
What do? Do you go for the shorter yardage needed, or you go for pay dirt?
I think you call your best 4.5-yard play in your playbook, and that could be Tua on the move to the wide side of the field. The ball is essentially just a shade to the right of the middle of the field, but nevertheless, I think you've got to give him an opportunity to throw it and or run it, because he is an outstanding point guard if you want to relate it to a basketball player.
Najee Harris, the running back, to his left. Here's a 4th down and 4 to get a 1st down, 7 yards from a touchdown. Empty backfield, Najee in motion. Here's Tua. He looks, stands in. Everybody's covered. He'll throw to the left side. Caught, touchdown, Alabama! Caught by Alabama in the end zone. What a play coming across for Calvin Ridley, showing his younger brother how you come up large on the biggest stage of the night.
No flags. Tua buys time, gets flushed to his right, pressure in his face, and with that whip-like left arm, Alabama got a natural rub because it was really the secondary phase of that route, and Calvin Ridley makes what could be the game-tying score pending this extra point.
Extra point by Andy Papanastis. He is perfect this year. Scott Meyer snaps, hold is there, kick is up, we're tied with 3:49 to go in regulation. Grandma, take another one of your heart pills.
Well, Bama has seized the momentum here, and Eli, is very interesting. Georgia opted to go to the Wildcat a couple of occasions in these last few downs after Jake Fromm had thrown for 225 yards. They took the ball out of the kid who was playing the best, and Alabama put the ball in their true freshman, and he has stolen the show tonight in this 2nd half.
The Brombergs forever mark Diamond scoring drive. 8 plays, 66 yards, 3 minutes and 21 seconds. And
Eli,
Alabama has tied it at 20.
Eli, this game is so reminiscent, and I know I wasn't here, but in 2008, Alabama was in their 2nd year, gone undefeated. They're playing Florida, and we're beating Florida. for almost the entire game. But it was the Gators who had the more experienced team that responded with Tim Tebow and ultimately won that game. You get a sense that the same thing's happening here, except Alabama is the team with the most experience.
Here's the kick. Mecole Hardman will take it from the 1. Angles left, finds an opening, breaks a tackle. He's across the 20 to the 21-yard line. And where Thompson stops him, that's where Georgia will go to work. 1st and 10.
Well, we're at 20 all, 3:44 left. Dogs with 2 timeouts, Alabama with 2 timeouts. And so this is that tricky situation. You play it for overtime. Do you try to knock out a first down? Do you go for the win? Because a mistake here puts Alabama obviously in plus territory. So they've got to show great confidence in Fromm and see if they can win the game through the air. We've seen Alabama now score 20 points in the second half based upon the arm work and talent of Tua Tagovailoa.
DeAndre Swift, the running back, left side of Fromm. Fromm gets the snap, steps back, throws, knocked down at the 30-yard line, incomplete. Over the top was the defense of Levi Wallace, and a pass intended for Riley Ridley.
Well, Bama got pressure with 4 rushers, and they were able to play coverage that time, which is what the idea is behind this Nick Saban philosophy on that side of the football.
2nd and 10, Georgia from their own 21. 3:39 remaining in regulation. We're tied at 20. The national championship of college football on the line. Fromm claps his hands, gets the snap, has time, throws the out route, catch is made. Levi Wallace comes up to tie up Riley Ridley. It'll be short of the first down, brings up 3rd and about 3.5 yards.
Yep, Levi comes up, makes the tackle, forces the Georgia receiver to step out of bounds. Clock now running, 3:30 and counting, and the Tide trying to get off the field here at 3rd and 3.
Each team has used 1 timeout. They each have 2 remaining. Fromm comes up, talks to Lamont Gilliard, his center, drops back into the shotgun, gets the snap, throws far side over the head of the intended receiver, DeAndre Swift. And now Georgia will punt with a 4th and 3 staring at them deep in their own territory.
Well, you could see that all night long. They got DeAndre Swift matched up on Mack Wilson, but Swift ran straight to the flat. There was no stem in his route to shake one way and break out the other. Mack Wilson was in close proximity, forces the overthrow, and now Alabama gets a chance to not only get the ball back, but go win the football game.
Cameron Niziolek will punt it away to Trayvon Diggs, who stands back at his own 28-yard line. Good snap to Niziolek. He'll boot it away. Trayvon backpedals. Makes the grab at the 20. Starts right, goes up the middle 30 to the 35-yard line. And that's where Alabama will start with good field position, a 51-yard punt and a 14-yard run back on the play.
Well, outstanding job by Trayvon Diggs. A secure catch and then a north-south return. Alabama will start at the 35, and basically the same field position they were in the last time they had the football. The Tide with 2 timeouts. Time is not really a factor here. 2:55 left. You got more than ample opportunities here. As long as you move the sticks to matriculate this football into position for a game-winning field goal, perhaps a game-winning touchdown.
You invoke the memory of Hank Stram. Matriculate the ball down the field. Najee Harris lining up to the left of Tua Tagovailoa. Snapping it from their own 35. Here now, the give to Najee, nothing there, and he'll lose a yard. Back to the 34, Roquan Smith saw that. By the way, just before Tua came onto the field here for this series, quarterback Jalen Hurts came up to him, hugged him, patted him on the back a few times, yelled something in his ear. The ultimate teammate right there.
Well, and a lot of clock running here for Alabama. That play clock down to 14. Now the play coming on to the side, from the sideline to the team at the line of scrimmage.
Najee Harris behind him. Tua steps up. He will audible at the line of scrimmage. 3, 2, 1. Gets it away. Hands off Najee, big hole right side, turns it up the field. He'll stumble and bumble forward for a first down.
Well,
how about those freshmen, Phil?
That'll temporarily stop the clock as they move the sticks, and now Alabama up to the 45. And Eli, they practice this situation all the time. 2 minutes, right at midfield, 2 timeouts. Alabama has rehearsed this numerous times, but it hasn't been all that often with number 13, Tua Tagovailoa, on the field.
Tied at 20, here's Tua. Gets the snap. Looks right, throws. Ridley, first down, right sideline. Well, let's see. They will say he'll step out a half-yard shy. And now a flag there on the far sideline. Malcolm Parrish was the man.
Personal foul, face mask, defense. The run, first down.
We did not turn off the referee's mic. It malfunctioned there, but the face mask call will march the football all the way down 15 more yards to the 31-yard line.
Well, that's a biggie, and now Alabama, in essence, needs one more first down. They can take this clock and get the game-winning score, and so it transitions from being in more of a 2-minute type offense to really more of your standard offense. 1:45 on this clock.
Tua takes off running. He follows Najee, turns it upfield. He's to the 25. Picks up 6 on the play. Andy Papanastos, to match his career long, has just gotten there. Actually, his career long, he would have to snap it from the 29. So he is basically there. They're at the 30. And time to play ball yet.
I think Alabama would love to position this football somewhere closer to the middle right for Papanastos, who's a right footer, and that ball angles from right to left. It's a natural draw, natural hook on the football.
1:10 to go. Tua gives it to Najee. Najee goes left. Najee stops. He'll get down to the 28-yard line before he is stopped there. Went out of bounds. Chris Stewart, quickly an update.
Eli, this is also the time of the game where everybody kind of thought we'd get in field goal position against Mississippi State, that all of a sudden Bama throws it at the end zone.
Well, they threw it to Devontae Smith.
Yeah, and this is a good spot for one of those quick play action passes and something to the inside, safe and low, to your receiver running a slant route.
Bama 2 of 12 in third down conversions. 2 heavyweights slugging it out in round 15 of a championship bout. The snap, Tua comes to his left, lowers his shoulder, gets to the 20, and a first down for Alabama with 56 seconds remaining in the ball game.
Well, Bama holds all the cards at this point.
Timeout, Georgia. That's their second charge timeout of the half. It will be a 30-second timeout.
So Georgia calls timeout.
Eli, let's set the scene. So Alabama just picks up the first down. Georgia has to use one of their timeouts because the Tide holds all the cards here. They've essentially got a potential game-winning field goal in their pocket if they just literally fall on the ball 3 times. I think they'll go ahead and try to run it, position it into the exact spot that Andy Papanastos wants it from Coach Joe Panunzio, the special teams coordinator. Georgia can only stop the clock one more time, so essentially Bama can take the clock, milk it, and set up for a game-winning field goal.
Good Lord.
Unless they decide to throw one into the end zone and really try to put the dagger in the heart of the Bulldogs. But I think the conservative play is to position the football here, take the clock, and then put it on the toe of Andy Papanastos.
56 seconds to go in regulation. Here's a 1st and 10 Bama from the Georgia 20. Najee Harris lined up to the right side of quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. He's in for the second half. Tua goes right. Tua stumbles forward, gets a yard to the 19. Whistles sound. Timeouts. Georgia, their final timeouts.
Timeout, Georgia. Their third and final timeout of the half. 30-second time.
In these last 2 plays, Eli, we've seen direct snap to Tua, no handoff, no pitch out. They're putting it in number 13's hands to secure the football. The thing that Bama's got to avoid here You've got to fasten that ball to the rib cage for Tua, but then also the linemen have to keep their hands inside. You don't want some crazy holding penalty here late to push this ball back. This is very makeable for Andy Pappanastis. As it stands right now, you're looking at about a 38-yard field goal.
Good Lord, Phil. What a night.
Well, we talked about at the half that in reality, Bama's best and maybe only chance to come back against Georgia was to put Tua Tagovailoa in there. Nick Saban did it, and this true freshman, regardless of outcome, he's left an indelible mark on this national championship game. And wow, if Bama can come from behind and win this football game, what a rousing finish for the Roll Tide Nation.
On the sideline, Damian Harris just went up to Andy Pappanastis, who was kicking on the sidelines, hugged him, patted him on the back. Here we go, 2nd and 9. Ball at the 19 of Georgia. Tua has Najee Harris in the backfield. 2nd down and 9 from the 19. Tua goes right. He's got the angle. He goes forward. He's to the 15-yard line. Clock remains rolling now. 41 seconds to go. Georgia cannot stop the clock.
Yep, and of course, Bama, Eli, they got really a couple options here. They could let this wind down, but give themselves enough time that if there was a botched snap or mishandled snap, then Bama would get a second chance on 4th down. But it looks like Alabama's just going to line up and position this ball, pop their timeout, and have Andy Pappanastis go out there and try to win their 5th title in 9 years.
9 seconds in the game, 8, 7, whistle, timeout. Nick Saban comes charging out to the field.
Timeout, Alabama.
Saying
that's their second timeout of the
he
half.
invokes the name of
30-second timeout.
The Lord and says, aren't you watching the clock? We have timeouts. 6 seconds to go.
And I think what Coach Saban was talking about was just what we were referencing, that you want to take the timeout outside of the figure that would give you a chance that if you had a mishandled snap, that you could recover the ball and then get a chance to kick it again. But that may not happen.
No.
Bama now on the edge at 6 seconds. So it looks like it's going to be from the right hash. Unless they snap it and just jog it over just 2 steps, fall to the ground, and pop the timeout just to move it a little bit more towards the middle right. Right now it's on the severe right side, right on the hash mark line there at the 16-yard line.
Now remember, Georgia did block a late field goal in the Rose Bowl against Oklahoma. Jalen Hurts in the ball game now. Jalen Hurts is in the ball game. He will come under center. He'll take the snap. Shuffles left a few steps, hit the knees. 3 seconds to go, timeout Alabama. So Jalen came in, took the snap, moves it directly between the hash marks. And timeout Alabama, 3 seconds to go.
And the good news here, Georgia does not have any timeouts left, so there won't be any debate as to whether there's a late timeout trying to freeze the kicker. This is going to be a single snap, a single hold, and a single kick, and perhaps another national championship for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
What a night. What a night. And it's coming down to the final seconds, the final play of the ball game. Again, in a national championship game, it comes down to the final play.
We are 1 minute from the witching hour, and for whom the bell tolls, it could be the Alabama Crimson Tide with a game-winning kick.
It'll be a 36-yard field goal from between the hash marks. The snap, the spot, the kick is no good. The kick is no good, wide left. The kick is no good, wide left. We're going to overtime.
Shake hands, men.
For overtime, as the captains are encouraged to shake hands one with the other.
Congratulations to both teams. We still don't have a champion. We're going to keep playing until we get one. Alabama, you're still the visiting team. We're going to have another coin toss. The winner of the coin toss gets to decide either who gets the ball first or which end of the field that we play on. The loser of the coin toss gets the remaining option. Because you're still the visitors, we have the same coin. The football is heads, and the Mercedes-Benz Stadium is tails. What's your call?
Tails.
Tails is called. Here we go. It is a tail. You want to go on defense first?
You're going to play defense first.
That's what I thought. Which end do you want to play at? Play down there? Okay, very good. Georgia's ball, first down, going this way.
So Alabama wins the toss, and as most teams do, they pick defense. They will play at the end to our right, populated by the Georgia fans. The Alabama fans are to our left.
Georgia 8-5 all-time in overtime games. Their most recent overtime game was last week, double overtime in the Rose Bowl against Oklahoma.
The Alabama Crimson Tide, meanwhile, 5-8 in overtime.
Yeah, both teams last weekend for Georgia and Oklahoma kicked field goals to start, and then it was Georgia getting a stop, and then a Sony Michel touchdown run for the win.
These teams have played one overtime game against each other in 2007 when the 22nd ranked Bulldogs beat the 16th ranked Crimson Tide 26-23 in Tuscaloosa. Here we go, moving left to right as you listen. From under his center, Gilliard. The running back is Chubb.
And Swift on the field as a wide receiver.
Here now the give, Chubb. Stood up by Alabama. He gains 1.5 yards before Mack Wilson puts him down at the 23. Second down and 8. You know the rules, I'm sure. In case you don't, each team gets the chance on the 25-yard line. You keep going until one team scores. The other either scores more or does not score. Once you go to a triple overtime, you have to go for 2, not just a 1-point conversion. Here now the toss comes near side. Georgia spreads the field down to the 22. Levi Wallace staying with Mack Wilson to stop the play. And it'll be a 3rd down and 7 upcoming from here.
Well, Bama is geared to stop the run, and Georgia, of course, has run the football 70% of the time over the course of the season. They open up with 2 runs, and now Jake Fromm looking at 3rd and a long 6, almost 3rd and 7 here from the 21-yard line.
Of course, the clock is dead. This is no longer a timed game. You just get your chances here until you score. Here's Fromm on the 3rd and 7, under pressure. He is taken down, and this is all the way back at the 36-yard line by Terrell Lewis.
This is going to force a 54-yard field goal attempt for Rodrigo Blankenship. Now, he hit a 55-yarder at the end of the first half of that Rose Bowl game. This is a controlled environment, but this ball is going to be spotted down about 52 yards away for the Georgia Bulldogs.
A 52-yard field goal. As Phil said, he hit a 55-yarder against Oklahoma. The former walk-on, now under scholarship. The snap is on the way. The spot is good. The kick on the way. It is good. It is good from 52 yards. 52-yard field goal by Rodrigo Blankenship.
Wow. What a kick by Blankenship. He had more than enough leg on it. That would have been good from beyond 55. He striped it inside the right upright. After the sack by the Tide pushed Georgia backwards. Now Alabama's turn to take over at the 25-yard line.
Now if Alabama hits a field goal, we go to a second overtime. If Alabama scores a touchdown, the Crimson Tide is national champion. If Alabama does not score at all, the Georgia Bulldogs are national champions.
And Alabama's going to have to do it in this den of noise. They're going from left to right into the heart of the Georgia Bulldog fan base. This stadium, I'm estimating probably at least 70% Georgia Bulldog fans.
Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback, with Damian Harris, the running back, going wide left. Empty backfield. from the 25. Tua fakes the throw. Tua stands in. Tua escapes. Tua tries to get away further. Tua cannot get any further, and he's down all the way back at the 42-yard line. Davin Bellamy finally puts him down. That play loses 17.
Unbelievable. Tua tried to do too much that time. Initial reaction was to throw that football away. Did not do it. The Georgia pass rush, too much. Jonathan Ledbetter, Davin Bellamy, and now Alabama looking uphill at 2nd and 26.
2nd down and 26.
Got to get half the yardage back here. Give yourself a fighting chance on 3rd down.
Here's Tua stepping back. Loads up. Looks long. Throws. End zone.
Touchdown.
Alabama. Devontae Smith. Touchdown. Alabama. And the Crimson Tide has once again ascended to the top of the college football mountain. Their 5th national championship in 9 years. Their 17th overall. And for Coach Nick Saban, a career 6th national championship, a number matched only by the legendary Paul Bear Bryant. Alabama is back as the champion of college football. How about that?
Mick, you just said is that?
I'm asking questions. Was that a good game or what?
How do you describe what you just coached through?
Well, I'll tell you what. The resiliency of our team to come back in the second half. Tua did a great job, gave us a little spark. Defense picked it up to overcome the adversity of missing the field goal in regular and then go and win the game in overtime. It's a great football game. You got to give Georgia a lot of credit. They really played well in the game. But I'm so proud of our players for the way they come back in the game after the first half we played was not very good.
What led to the decision, and what did you tell Tua?
Well, I just thought we had to throw the ball in the game, and I thought he could do it better. And he did. He did a good job. We made some plays in the passing game. So, hey, it's just a great win, man. I'm so happy for Alabama fans. Great for our players. Unbelievable.
After what happened last year, losing with 1 second to go, the mantra all season was finish. How did you coach your team to do that tonight? What spirit did they show you, Nick?
Well, I told them in the beginning, I said, look, all we got to do is execute. We made so many mistakes in the first half. I mean, we were shooting ourselves in the foot left and right. So I said, if we just go have poise and focus to execute like we do all the time, that's who we are, we'll have a chance to get back in this game. And the players believed it and came back and did a great job.
Your 6th national championship. You tie Bear Bryant for most in the poll era. Take a second and hear that. What does that mean to you?
Right now, I'm just happy for all these folks here. I'm happy for all these folks. I'm happy for our players. I don't care anything about that, to be honest with you. This was a great win for our players, and I've never been happier in my life.